this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. The U.S. launching a third night of strikes against a broad swath of Iran. President Trump notified Congress that limited military action had resumed. Tehran launching strikes at U.S. regional allies and said it struck and disabled 2 supertankers. The UAE said Iranian missiles did hit 2 of its tankers in Omani territorial waters in the Strait of Hormuz, killing 1 crew member. U.S. Central Command said it will resume its naval blockade of ships going to and from Iranian ports. Global oil prices surged more than 9% on the news. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster tapping Darlene Graham Nordone as her late brother Lindsey Graham's temporary replacement in the Senate.
I think this is what Lindsey would have wanted, and I plan to honor him in this way. Now to Lindsey, I miss you more than I can even put into words. But I'm going to do this. I got it.
Nordone will serve the remaining months of his term, which ends in January. Majority Leader John Thune says she will be sworn in this afternoon. A special election next month will determine the new Republican nominee for Graham's seat. Another round of sweltering heat in store for much of the U.S. this week. The National Weather Service predicts that more than 90 temperature records across the U.S. will be tied or broken this week through Wednesday. Most of those will be overnight heat records. National Weather Service meteorologist Ray Martin says some weekend microburst storms causing trouble in Philly.
We had a particularly strong series of storms which developed along the western and southern portions of the city of Philadelphia. They were fairly localized and isolated, but the areas that got hit were, very urban areas of West and South Philadelphia, and there was pretty widespread tree damage and power disruption.
No injuries were reported. More of these stories from townhall.com.
With things moving fast to resolve the situation in the Middle East, the headlines may change, but the fundamentals haven't. America's debt continues to climb, and uncertainty still hangs over the global economy. That's why investors continue turning to one asset that has stood the test of time: physical gold and silver. For generations, gold has been viewed as a safe haven asset during periods of geopolitical tension and market volatility. That's why Advantage Gold wants to send you a free gold investment guide valued at $49, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's acclaimed book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, when you call 800-900-8000. Discover why central banks are buying gold, why many Americans are diversifying with precious metals, and how a tax and penalty-free rollover into physical gold and silver may fit into your retirement strategy. Don't wait until the next crisis dominates the headlines. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 right now. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000.
Several New York Times reporters have been subpoenaed after Air Force One stories.
The Trump administration subpoenaed the Times reporters to testify before a federal grand jury after they published stories claiming the new Qatari-donated Air Force One lacks key security features like anti-missile capabilities, forcing Mr. Trump to use the old plane in Turkey. The president's supporters see the subpoenas as a necessary probe into possible leaks of sensitive information amid assassination threats against Mr. Trump, dismissing media outrage as overblown. Ken Lorman reporting.
Supreme Court Justices Elena Kagan and Amy Coney Barrett are set to appear before Congress. They're seeking millions of dollars to enhance security amid rising threats to the judiciary. Judges nationwide are facing increasing violence and intimidation. News and analysis at townhall.com. Major League Baseball facing a potential work stoppage over management proposed salary cap. The current labor contract expires December 1st. A lockout is expected. The proposal aims to reduce payroll disparities. Players argue it would limit earnings and opportunities for young players. Concerns are growing about a possible shortened or lost season. Washington set to host a major racing event.
President Trump spoke about the upcoming Freedom 250 Grand Prix as Washington prepares to host the IndyCar race next month.
Unprecedented events will take place next month right here in our nation's capital on August 22nd and 23rd. It'll be an awesome display of American patriotism and raw horsepower and ingenuity. Cars racing more than 190 miles and even higher than that down Pennsylvania Avenue.
The event is part of the ongoing America 250 celebration and is expected to bring thousands of fans to the nation's capital. Willie Nelson, the White House.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, My Pillow mattresses and My Pillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
Trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep is infuriating. Your mind races, you toss and turn. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created REM sleep to help you quickly fall asleep, stay asleep, and sleep deep. Unlike other supplements that don't work, REM sleep is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra-absorption of science-backed ingredients supporting all 4 stages of sleep. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code Godzilla.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Soul Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Soul Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Soul Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Well, happy Tuesday morning, everybody. This is the John Fredericks Media Network. I'm Dan Hobgood. Time for a look at, among other things, weather, just a little bit of sports here for the All-Star break week. We'll start, as we always do, with where I am in Richmond, Virginia. A high today in Richmond of 90, a low this evening of 68. Right now, the temperature in the River City, 64 degrees. In D.C. today, going to see a high of 94. A low this evening of 70. Right now, the temperature 67 degrees. Commanders to retire John Riggins' number 44 when the Rams come to town on Sunday, November 8th. In Atlanta, a high today of 77. That's not too bad. However, showers and storms likely. A low this evening of 72 with a heavy storm possible. Right now, the temperature also 72 degrees in Georgia. Nashville, you're looking at a high today of 87, going to be humid with stray storms, a low tonight of 71, cloudy and humid. Right now, the temperature in Middle Tennessee, also 71 degrees. Going to skip over Philadelphia for the moment. Morgantown, a high today of 93, a low this evening of 69, going to be humid. Right now, the temperature in, by God, West Virginia, 67 degrees. All right, my Yinzers, in Pittsburgh today, going to be high of network-wide high of 97, a low this evening of 74, going to be humid. Right now, the temperature in the 412, 71 degrees. And last but not least, enjoy this moment in the sun, Philly, at least for me. A high today of 93, a low this evening for the All-Star game of 76. Going to be warm out there. Right now, the temperature in eastern Pennsylvania, 71 degrees. Card slugger Jordan Walker wins last night's home run derby. Paul Skeens, Juan Soto, and Bryce Harper are among the All-Stars at the All-Star game, saying that MLB players will never agree to a salary cap. And NFL execs say that Josh Allen is the NFL's best overall QB. Bringing you today's weather and sports update is the Godzilla Wins radio show. For the best insight, analysis, and picks, watch and listen to Godzilla Wins Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Plus, to get John's daily sports picks, you know where to go. It's GodzillaWins.com. Once again, that's GodzillaWins.com. And now, a few words to the wise. You know, yesterday I mentioned that we resolved how America, a country rooted in the idea of man's rights, is not actually a democracy. Indeed, only one aspect of our political system is democratic, the election of certain public officials. And even then, our Constitution is at least supposed to limit, very strictly, what elected individuals can do once in office. Now, almost universally, those who realize that America is not a democracy will respond, "That's right, we're a republic." Are we, though? Again, as we established, a democracy is a majoritarian form of governance in which the citizens decide what government does. Definitionally, the only difference between a democracy and a republic is that the latter is indirect, whereby elected delegates vote on what the government does instead of the populace itself. In simpler terms, a republic is merely a representative democracy. And like a direct democracy, a representative one does not inherently recognize or sanctify your rights and personal latitude. Perhaps at this point, a few people listening to me are saying or thinking, well, what America is a constitutional republic. This description doesn't quite suffice either. Numerous republics have constitutions, which, obviously enough, come in all shapes and sizes, so to speak. In other words, just because a country has a constitution, that doesn't mean that it's a good one. No, our constitution is a very specific type of constitution, one dedicated in substance to man's rights. Accordingly, the best word I've come up with to describe America, and I do believe that the word is one I've coined, is rightsocracy. America is a rightsocracy. Why? Because in essence, she is an individualist country, and as such, devoted to the defense of man's rights. We'll talk more about our Constitution starting tomorrow, but in the meantime, this has been Dan Hobgood for the John Fredericks Media Network. Outside the Box with the Ox is next, followed by The John Fredericks Show. Stay tuned, everyone.
Republicans politically have to answer to Democrats about Trump policies and their opinion of him, pushing them to either distance themselves, in which case they lose friends and have their entire history condemned as worthless, or to wholeheartedly embrace, in which they lose friends and have their entire history condemned as worthless.
Mr. President, perhaps you should transmit a planetary distress signal while we still have time.
Meanwhile, without a figurehead, epitome, if you will, of what they stand for, Democrats are allowed to sneak around, never having to defend boys and girls sports, unwanted electric vehicle mandates, sex changes at public expense for 5-year-olds with or without parental consent, nipping on social media, appearing or even hosting on MSNBC, CNN. Now with the Democrat Socialists of America blossoming onto the scene, finally Republicans have something to push back in the Democrats' faces. Not, because as long as this rift continues, Democrats won't or can't name their leader. Thus, there's no objective opponent like there is in the Republican Party with Donald Trump. No specific target. target. Thinking outside the box, Republicans could take it upon themselves. Pick a Democrat politician, anybody, post all their opinions on issues, responses to questions and such, brand that person as the leader, and then assault him or her relentlessly as a litmus test for being a Democrat or not. Preferably someone feisty who would welcome the focus and intimidate other Democrats to not push back or else.
Why are you two always fighting? I like the way she fights.
Here outside the box with the Ox in the Eastern Time Zone, and now in West Virginia on the John Fredericks Media Network.
John Fredericks.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
They want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Fredericks Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the socials.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineer sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who trucks the truth from coast to coast, John Fredericks.
Well, it's great to have you with us today on the John Fredericks Media Network. We are live in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. This is the Defense and Innovation Summit put on by Senator Dave McCormick from Pennsylvania. This thing is unbelievable, folks. The number of defense industry contractors here and companies is amazing. President Trump is going to be here Wednesday. And I got to tell you, we are fired up for the Defense and Innovation Summit. I don't know how McCormick has put this thing on. He's been a senator 18 months. This thing is jam-packed here. We're at the War College, the Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We're going to be here for 2 days. President Trump's going to be here on Wednesday. General Kane is going to be here on sometime later on today. We're going to be breaking in after Leahy to live programming, live streaming from here. We're going to, of course, tomorrow be carrying the president. We're going to be carrying him live. We're also going to be carrying a lot of other people. General Kane today, a little bit in the afternoon. And Dave McCormick's going to be with us here live at about 8:05, somewhere in there. So pretty good day, pretty lot of fun, a lot of defense And what Dave is trying to do is like, look, we got an enormous defense budget. We got all kinds of things going on, and we just want to be absolutely sure that we're getting our fair share here in Pennsylvania. This is a showcase for so many things. So that's kind of what the senator has in mind. I love what he's doing. I love his plan, and we're very excited about it. So just want to say hi to everybody today. And it's Dan likes the setup. Michael Coleman on a road trip with us. Coleman here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, came up to D.C. by train on Amtrak. My favorite way to travel, by the way. I'm, I guess, last of the Amtrak travelers out there. Hope we put some more money in it. But Mike got up here. We drove to Carlisle, set up. They took care of us, the McCormick folks. Big shout out to Katie Montgomery. His communications director has been fabulous to us. Got us all set up, got great digs, and it's going to be a lot of fun for 2 days. President Trump is going to be here. All of that right here in the John Fredericks Media Network. You want to be in the middle of the action, you want to come here. You want somebody reading a script in a studio, well, you can go to WRVA or some of these other channels out there, and that's what they're going to give you. We, though, are on the road, and we're bringing you the action right where it is. We got the bus under repair. That's been an overhaul. We put so many miles on that thing. It's got a major refurb going. So we'll be out with that soon. First stop, I think, is going to be in West Virginia for the opening couple football games. So we're going to be there, and then we'll take the road for politics. But big shout out to Michael Coleman, who got up here, got us all set up, got my backdrop up, and he doesn't take a lot of road trips with us, but we're excited to have him hanging out with our director of ops, getting a lot of things solved. So it's going to be fun. We're going to be taking your calls as well. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Dan Hobgood relegated to the operation in Richmond. He's got to be working all this stuff. We got live streams going and everything else. So Dan, you can open up your mic. We're fired up. You're going to be there, like, I guess, all day. So, order some DoorDash or something. Because
I was thinking about that. I was like, I think I'm going to have to order some food here this afternoon.
Because if you think you're going home today, you're not. This thing is going to go right on till, and then you got to put on the Katz and Cosby show at 5. So
right.
So
yeah.
You're putting in, what is it? Got there at 5. What times you get there today? 5 a.m.
Yeah, around then. Yeah.
So you're going to leave at 6. So that is a 13-hour day.
There you go.
So I would definitely order DoorDash and IHOP or something, and
yeah,
exactly. get a little fuel there.
Well, Coleman can tell you, I don't come to the studio without quite a bit of food with me to begin with. So, but that usually gets me through the midday.
That's the same as me.
Yeah,
like I got this entire bag of stuff.
Yeah,
in my little mini cooler.
The bag of stuff. Yep,
I bring
get
it to
it.
DC because you don't know when you can eat.
Yeah,
you just don't know. So
exactly.
I always bring plenty of snacks, yogurts, and whatever. I got apples, I got bananas, and so here I am. Like, I'm eating a banana and strawberries, and Coleman's eating. What is that you're eating, Coleman? Oatmeal raisin cookies.
Hey, the best kind of cookies.
Champions, baby.
I love oatmeal raisin cookies. No, I was literally on my grill at 4:30 this morning grilling chicken to bring into the studio. So I was cooking up a storm at
4:30.
4:30 in the morning.
Is that legal?
I don't know.
I think it's illegal.
Is it really?
I don't think you can cook before like 6 a.m. in Richmond. I think that's some kind of law. I think
tune into my Dan Hobgood report tomorrow, all about the 9th Amendment and all the things that we actually can do legally according to the Constitution. So yeah, a little tease there.
Defense and Innovation Summit. You got a graphic to put up for this? You got a graphic of all of our sponsors?
I'm going to work on that for the next half hour. I got the first one for the top of the show, and I'm gonna do all those now and get them ready to go.
We want to give a shout out. We want to give a shout out to our sponsors that made this possible. Senator Dave McCormick, that's being one of them. Thank you, Senator, for doing that. State Senator Jared Coleman. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate that. Congressman Dan Muser, one of our sponsors. Dan the man, and Pace-O-Matic, one of our sponsors here in Pennsylvania for their skill games. And they do have an ad that I'm going to send you. I sent it to Al, so I'll find it when we get to the bottom of the hour. But we got a lot going on. We're going to start with Iran. We got some clips as well, but we're going to start with Iran, and then we'll get to Lindsey Graham and the appointment of his sister, Darlene, which was a very nice thing to do. I was not in favor of it because I don't know where she stands, but I'll get to that in a minute. But first, I want to get to Iran and the Straits. I think the president is done with negotiating. If I hear him say again on the airplane gaggle, they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal. No, Mr. President, you were right when you were in NATO. They don't want to make a deal. They're crazy SOBs. Whatever you do, whatever they sign, the minute they get out and in front of the media, they deny they signed it. You really can't do business this way. It is a ridiculous way to try to do anything, and they're scum. And so they need to be just wiped out. And so I love the president's initiative. I just hope he doesn't back off it now, because I don't think there's any way to go. We're going to control the Straits. Look, I'm for permanent solutions. The MOU and everything else was always a temporary solution until it wasn't, right? We all know that, until they broke it. And it was like 2 days. I mean, they can't help themselves. And the belligerence coming out of them on social media, we're going to kill the president. We're going to close the Straits. Hey, you guys don't have a pot to piss in. You ain't going to do crap. So now our military is going to open up the Straits, period. From now in perpetuity. Ships are going to get through, oil is going to get down. Now, somebody's got to pay for this, right? Because we have to have our naval there. We have to have our ships there. We have to have our gunboats there. We have to have security there. Well, somebody's got to pay for it. You got to pay for it. Well, before Trump went into Iran, nobody had to pay for it. Well, that was before he found out they were going to have a nuclear bomb. So rather than have them deploy nukes across the Middle East and hold the world hostage, President Trump took action. So that didn't happen. And now he's done with him. So look, you're going to have to pay a 20% toll. I don't care what you call fee. And that is paying for your security and safety. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for their security and safety of all of those cargo ships going through. You're paying for that. And so you're going to have to work that into your cost, because the ships are going to get through, barrels of oil are going to come down, futures are going to come down, gas is going to go down to $2. The Straits are going to be open today, tomorrow, the next day, 6 years, 60 years. The Straits are going to be open. We're never going to have to go through this again. Then he's going to blockade them again. Never should have taken the blockade off. I would have said, I'm going to blockade you guys for a month just to see if you guys can do what you say. Took it off. He's a nice guy. Now the blockade's back on. No oil gets in, no oil gets out. They can't sell it. And this idea that, we can't have a fee. Well, the ships are getting through. Where's the majority of this oil going? China. So let me get this straight. Here's what the communists, here's what the Marxist jihadists want us to do. Not charge a fee, okay? So we're going to guarantee security for the cargo ships to get through the Straits so they can go to China, and China doesn't have to pay the fee in excess cost. So they're going to get the oil. And then in order to pay for that, we're going to borrow the money from China at an interest to pay for it, to pay for the oil getting through to them without a fee. Now, how the hell does that make sense? We're going to borrow the money to pay for it from China, and they're getting the benefit of the oil. It's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So they're going to have to pay a fee. Pay it now, pay it in perpetuity. You're paying for security. You want security? Hey, do you have security in your home? You have one of those ADT things, right? You pay for that. You pay for security. If I'm going around and we decide on our bus we have to have security, guess what? You got to pay for it. You got to hire the security firm. You got to take him. You pay for it. Obviously, we don't say it on the air because we don't want to promote that. But wherever you get security and safety, you got to pay for it, right? You call the police, you're paying for that through your property taxes, right? So this idea that we're just going to do this for free, I don't think so. 20%, it's the right thing to do. My only fear is he relaxes it and tries to tell us they made another deal, because they'll make no deal. And whatever deal they say they make, like they said they signed that MOU, this is Iran, they signed the MOU for one reason, and one reason only. One reason. And that was to be able to sell as much oil as they could in the period before they knew they were going to break it. And they sold 80 million barrels of oil. They got some cash to do what? Fund more drones to shoot at our ships. I mean, it makes no sense. They're never going to feed their people, not our business. You starve them, they got to figure it out. When their economy collapses, not my problem. All I know is the straits are going to be open. This is leadership. This is what you voted for. Now, President Trump has tried every which way from Wednesday, every way, for a diplomatic solution. He's tried every way to get a diplomatic solution. He couldn't do it, but he tried. He gets an A for effort. He's not a warmonger. He wants peace. He tried to negotiate with him, couldn't do it. And now we have this. And I support this. Next step, take Carg Island. Next step, take all the islands. Take them all and take all of their oil. Take it all. I mean, we've been there. We have this enormous military. We have the biggest armada in the Gulf, around the Persian Gulf, that's ever been assembled in the history of man. Use it. Use it. Take these islands, end this thing once and for all. And I'm telling you, if he does this, all the Republicans are wringing their hands. Oh my God, midterms. Oh my God, midterms. No, gas is going to come down, and the American people are going to reward us and reward Trump and reward Republicans in September, October, November, because the voting starts in September now. Early voting. They're going to reward Republicans with leadership and a permanent solution. That's why I'm so bullish on what the president has done and why I'm so fired up in what we're doing going forward. This is John Fredericks. I am live at the Dave McCormick Defense and Innovation Summit. And great shout out to our sponsors, Senator Jared Coleman, State Senator, Pennsylvania. Congressman, 9th District, Dan Muser, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Dan. Pace-O-Matic, Skill Game. Thank you. We're right here on the John Fredericks Media Network, rocking and rolling. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your sat phone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
People are out there saying, the Iranians are never going to live by it. But let me tell you something. President Trump is going to bomb them again if they screw around.
Hopefully they live up to it. And if not, the pounding's coming. We're going to do it again and again and again.
The Cats and Cosby Show, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Trump is the toughest president we ever had.
Well, he's definitely the best bomber.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
I am here because Washington needs fighters, and Graham Plattner is the fighter we need. You bet. I said to myself, that's my kind of man.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You're back on the John Fredericks Media Network with your phone calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Coming to you from Carlisle, Pennsylvania at the Army War College in Root Hall is where we are. Is that right, Michael? Root Hall. And this is quite the place here. First time I've been here, we're at the Dave McCormick, Pennsylvania Defense Innovation Summit. And I don't think I've ever seen this thing transform. There must be, what do you think, Mike, 150, 200 exhibits here? I mean, it goes on and on and on. Michael Coleman with me here live in Carlisle. And what? That's just upstairs. Now, we don't even know what's downstairs. Then you go down. President Trump's going to be here tomorrow. We got all kinds of guests coming. McCormick is going to be with us here live in a little while, I think at 8. And want to thank Dave for being one of our sponsors. You can go to DaveMcCormick.com. Another one of our sponsors, Congressman Dan Muser, 9th District, Pennsylvania. Dan is a conservative problem solver. And I tell you what, he brings his experience as a proven job creator, and he was a former revenue secretary of Pennsylvania to Congress, and it brought him there. You know, he's the son of a cop. He says he has a wonderful mom who balanced family and work, and Dan attended New York Maritime University, then went to Cornell, and then was in the Navy ROTC program. And Dan joined Mobility Products in 1988. This was a small healthcare products manufacturer that he helped grow into a worldwide industry leader in powerful mobility products. And Dan served as a president of Pride USA for 7 years militarily. And from 2011 to 15, Dan served as the Pennsylvania Secretary of Revenue before getting elected to Congress. And Dan Muser representing the 9th District in Pennsylvania. A great guy. More information, you want to go to muser.house.gov. That's Muser with an E, M-E-U, muser.house.gov. And you're going to get everything there. And thank you for that. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-JOHN. And we're going to take your calls if you want to weigh in live at the Defense and Innovation Summit put on by Senator Dave McCormick. Great guy, by the way. And he's going to be with us at 8. Let's get to the appointment of Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham, another last name, married. I was not a favor of it because I don't know her. I have nothing against her. But President Trump wanted her. I think it's a very nice tribute. Yay. So I'm for that. I know she's in mourning because of story. Her brother basically adopted her. He was her older brother, promised his parents if anything happened to them, he'd take care of his sister. He did. And so Lindsey Graham, a great guy. Didn't always agree with him. It doesn't matter. He's dead. Now we honor him more and et cetera. Had certainly quite the career. And I just want Darlene to vote our way. I thank you for being there. It's a great tribute. I want you to vote for the SAVE Act. I want you to vote to get rid of the filibuster. I want you to vote our way. I want you to vote like MAGA. If you do, I'm fine. If you don't, no. I want to pass the SAVE Act. I want to pass it now. If you're a vote to help us pass the SAVE Act, if you're a vote to get rid of the parliamentarian, if you're a vote to get rid of the filibuster, then yay. If you're not, I'm not interested. I'm sorry about your brother. As far as what comes next, there's going to be an election April 11th. We're going to have to nominate a new candidate. And I've already endorsed Pam Evitt. Don't know if she's running. She needs to run. Ralph Norman will be in it. Nancy Mace, nice lady. She'll be in it. Finished 5th, by the way, in the gubernatorial race. I'm sure the other guy that ran against Graham, whatever his name is, Mark Lynch, I'm sure he'll be in it. But yes, Pam Evitt got crushed in the runoff. Okay, I get it. But she also came in first in the primary in a crowded field. So, but I get it. A lot of people said, well, the attorney general beat her. Then Trump came back, endorsed them both. Yay. But remember, Trump endorsed Pam Evitt before anybody else in the original primary. She's a Joan of Arc of South Carolina. I know she's going to vote with us 100% of the time. You know why I know that? Because she already has. Yada, 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 yada. Everybody else talks. Yada, 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 yada. Evitt was with us 100% of the time. And she went to the State House in South Carolina, in Charleston, and guess what? Guess what she did? I'm sorry, Columbia. Did I say Charleston? Columbia. Guess what she did? She fought to get rid of Clyburn's seat. She fought in the House. She fought in the Senate. Weasel Republicans in the Senate gave her the New Jersey salute and kept Clyburn there. And if we lose the House by a seat, it's on those clowns. But she was there fighting every step of the way. Every single step of the way, Pam was there. So I don't know what else you want. I want a fighter. Ralph Norman, great guy. Can I count him on 100% of the time? I don't know, maybe. Nancy Mace, great lady. Friend of hers. Love her to death. Can you count on her 100% of the time? I don't know, maybe. Mark Lynch, he's not going to win. Sorry. Somebody else, not going to win. Some state senator, you guys couldn't even pass the get rid of the map. So no. So I don't know. Maybe they'll vote with us 100% of the time. I want a surety. The country's hanging by a thread. I don't want maybe, coulda, shoulda, woulda. If every day was candy and nuts, every day would be like Christmas. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be like Christmas. I don't want ifs and buts. Mike said, yeah, you mangled that, John, the first time. Let me say it again the right way, Dan. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be like Christmas. Right? That's the saying. Maybe, could be, should we, maybe, could, I don't know, maybe we should have. Hey, it's like the Jim Mora clip. Roll that. Maybe, coulda, woulda, shoulda, doulda. No, we got our ass kicked. I don't want to get my ass kicked again. I don't want maybe, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I want Pam Evitt, which I can bank on. I can take the ticket. I can bring it to the window. I can get money back. See, that's a winning ticket. It's like my father taught me at the racetrack when I was 10. He said, son, there's two kinds of tickets you get at that window. There's only two kinds. One you bring back and cash in and get money back. The other one you put in the trash. I prefer the ones you take back. Don't matter what the payout is, because the alternative is they're in the garbage. Never forgot that. Pam Evitt represents a winning ticket, because I know she'll vote with us 100% of the time. Everybody else, I'm rolling the dice. If I've got house money, if I'm up big, if I'm at the tables, I'm up big. I don't play table games, but once in a while, with Anna, I will. Very, very rarely. It's not my thing. But I'll play blackjack with her. But if I'm up big, double down, I'll double the bet. I'll play with house money, right? In sports betting, I never do that. But at tables, I'll do it. If you're up big, it's house money. If I got plenty of house money, I'll take a shot on somebody. I'd take a shot on Mace or take a shot on Norman or take a shot this. I don't have house money. This country's hanging by a thread. I got to get a winner, right? I'm down. I got to get a winner. I got to get a winner, right? It's the Sunday night game. I'm down. I got to get a winner. I can't be taking a shot when, a three parlay over-unders and, some prop bet. No, I got to bet the points and I got to get a winner. That's what you got to do. I want a winner. Does that make sense? I don't want to roll the dice, hope things work out sometime in the future. Don't want it. Not interested. That's why I'm for Pam Evitt, period. And I'll go down there and campaign for her if they'll have me. If she decides to run, I don't know. I want a sure bet. I want to bet the favorite. I want to be sure that I can get what I get. I want to get rid of the filibuster. I want to pass the SAVE Act. I want to put it in reconciliation. I want to fire the parliamentarian. I want to open up the straits. I want to charge a fee. I'm done. I hope everybody is with me here. Hope we're done with the nonsense. And if I hear President Trump one more time on the airplane gaggle saying, oh, they're desperate to make a deal. They want to make a deal. No, they don't want to make a deal. Here's what they want to do, Mr. President. Kill you and your family. They don't want to make a deal. They want you dead. That's what they want. I don't want no deals. Why are we paying for all this military if it's sitting there? Now, look, I don't want my son to go to Iran. No more than anybody else does. I don't want Coleman to go. I don't want my son to go. I don't want my oldest son to go. I don't want my daughter to go. I don't want anybody to go. But we got to open up these straits. And we got to keep them open. And we got to charge a fee. And if you don't want to pay the fee, take another shipping route. Hell do I care? And if you gouge us, if you try gouging us again, then the Department of Justice is going to take action. Because you know and I know that these oil companies gouged us the day this conflict started. Gas prices went up the next day. That had nothing to do with anything. Just went up. Why? Price gouging. All of them. Okay, you had your fun. You stuck it to us once. Never again. Think I'm not fired up today? Of course we're fired up because we're at the Dave McCormick Defense and Innovation Summit at the War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Who wouldn't be fired up? Are you fired up, Coleman? Coleman's fired up. Dan's fired up too. Okay, let's see what there's a little treat we got. I was waiting for this call today. I was waiting. I'm saying to myself when Mike and I were driving over here, by the way, the hotel, I didn't book in time. We had to stay like, how many miles away? 35 miles away. 25 miles away. And where do we stay? Shippensburg? Yeah, Shippensburg. Carlisle to Shippensburg is like a half hour. But good news, Eagle Eye Mike Coleman on the way to the hotel spotted a Sheetz. Eagle Eye. Of course, got my Sheetz coffee here. I would have preferred Wawa, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. In fact, I gave Mike the choice. There was a McDonald's and a Sheetz. I'm like, pick one. I'm saying, hope he picks McDonald's. Hope he picks McDonald's. Hope he picks McDonald's. Sheetz. It's like, okay, I'd say a word. I'm a good guy. I'm a team player. What are you going to do? Sheetz coffee. Yeah, it's okay. Wawa's better. All right, let's get the phone lines. Anthony in Florida. Dan says he would have picked McDonald's. Of course you pick McDonald's. Egg McMuffin, the coffee is better, it's hotter. Of course you pick McDonald's. But Mike wanted cheese. I didn't say a word. I'm a team player. Mike, am I a team player? I'm a team player. I never even beefed. I gave him a choice. And I didn't even hit the one I wanted. I said, Mike, it's your choice. Either one. Oh, we'll go to Sheetz. Okay. They were right by each other. But I'm with you, Dan. I'm like, pick McDonald's, pick McDonald's, pick McDonald's. No, Sheetz. So here's the good news. Instead of an Egg McMuffin, I got a banana and strawberries. So Mike's making me healthy. Probably knew that in the back of his mind. Okay. Anyway, Dan's right. Line one, Anthony, Florida, go.
Okay, let's get the odd man out of the way. Good morning, John. Yeah, let's get me out of the way because, brother, get ready for some hot sauce on your egg McMuffin.
Go ahead, roll it.
The Lindsey Graham wasn't a fan. I'm not going to lionize him. Sorry, not sorry. The appointment of his sister, the president is the president. To me, it feels like nepotism to me. Can we get some fresh blood out the way? You know, so I don't agree with it. But like you said, he's the president. Trust him, and that's fine. But I'd rather he had gotten somebody else. But okay, that's fine. The Straits, you can't say, oh, international waterways, guys. You can't charge a fee, then turn around and say, oh, we're going to charge you a fee. To me, I don't like that. It's facts of hypocrisy. You know, like I said, I know
he tried. Look, he tried to do it the right way. He tried diplomacy. He tried MOU. He tried everything to do it the right way. These are international waters. The problem is somebody has to provide safety and security, right? If he didn't want Iran to do it because Iran was under the threat of them shooting ships, so free and open. But now we, the country, the United States, taxpayers, you and me, have to provide the naval assistance in order to provide safety and security of passage for these cargo ships. Well, who the hell is going to pay for that? Well, if you didn't go in there, you wouldn't have this. Well, then they'd have a bomb, and then they'd be holding the entire world hostage, you idiots. Not you, Anthony, just in general. So that's his position. I get the hypocrisy, but things change. You got to be able to change. I want the money to pay. So our debt is going to be $2 trillion just this year. This is unsustainable. We got to get money from somewhere. And none of our Republicans have any ability to cut a dime. We couldn't cut Doge. Remember we had Doge? Spending went up. We're going to set a record in fiscal 26 for a record deficit of $2 trillion just this year. And there's no end in sight. So yeah, fee. But go ahead.
I'm like you.
We're gonna agree to disagree on that.
If they want to make a deal very badly, I'm tired of hearing that. I don't want to hear. Oh, they want to make a deal very badly. No, no. A matter of fact, he blew up. I think they blew up one of the ports with one of those drone boats. I was very impressed with that. That was very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, bro, I want things domestically. I want to come home. I know he's got to do what he's got to do, but I wish we had never gotten, Midnight Hammer should have been the end of it, but it is what it is, like you say, bro. It is what it is. So let's see where it goes. We're in the fog of war. I'd rather not be here, personally, really. But let's go. We'll see where it goes. That's it. I'm good.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but he didn't go in there for us and giggles. Okay. He didn't go in there like GW did to sell oil for Halliburton. He went in there because he got United States intel. It had nothing to do with Mossad. We both know Mossad is Mossad. He's not going into wars because of a foreign country's intel. Could care less. He got U.S. intel that they were too close to the deployment of a nuclear warhead, and he decided to act. That's why we elected him. Otherwise, people say, well, no, how do you know that? Well, he doesn't want war. He's not a warmonger, never was, never will be. He wants out of these wars. And he tried to negotiate his way out of it. But obviously they went to him with a serious enough intel series of reports that Iran was too close to the deployment of a nuclear warhead. which they would have used. And so he acted. And so now we all want to say, well, he shouldn't have done that. Well, if they had a nuclear warhead and they launched it against a country, pick something, Tel Aviv, and had another one, now where would we be? I know it's ifs and buts, like I just said. It's conjecture, but Anthony, we don't know. I mean, we elected him to make the tough decisions. He's made them. But I agree with you 100%. I don't want to hear another, oh, they want to make a deal. No, they don't want to make a deal. So if you're going to do something, do it. Charge it 20%, take the islands, choke them off, do the embargo, don't let them sell their oil, starve the country, freeze their assets, take that money, pay down the debt, and tell them to go to hell. That's what we ought to do. Go ahead, Anthony. I'll give you the final word.
Every time they negotiate, that gives them time to rearm. Period.
Thank you.
That's what they negotiate for. To rearm, refit, and repair, and get ready for round two. That's why they do it. So
no doubt.
If you're gonna do it, do it. Be done with it.
Yep.
100%. But also South Carolina needs somebody that's America first, not a jet setter all over the place. Come home. People are starving. People are suffering. Floods and repairs and things like that. So they need new blood. And nepotism is not the way. I know it's nice and how it's thank you, but you don't use the people's house, the representation of people, as some sort of consolation for the death of a family member. I'm not a fan of that. That's my word. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. I agree 100%. And I also love what you said, Anthony. I want to compliment you here. I love what you said about we don't need another jet setter. Like, I don't need another senator flying around to Ukraine. Know what I need? Just what you said. I need a senator that goes back to South Carolina, goes to D.C., stays there, works on problems here. That's why I'm for Pam Evitt. She's not, she's not in this, she's not going to send 90, these people that send these social media videos out. Aren't you sick of them? Like, they're a social media sensation. The hell is that? Go do your job. Like this guy, Tim Burchett, or whatever his name is, from Tennessee or something. I mean, I'm sick of this guy. Hey, man, I called the president and he called me on my, like, shut up. I'm sick of you too. Go do something, right? These social media sensations. The hell are you up? Movie star, you're there to do a job. Go do it. Go pass something. This social media star. I'm sick of it. That's why I want Pam. Pam is not going to do 82, TikToks. She's going to go up there and kick some ass. Get stuff done. I want to get stuff done. And I want Thune out. It's MAGA 2.0. Anthony, we got to start thinking ahead now. So I'm focused on MAGA 2.0. What happens next? Got to get through these midterms, and then it's on to MAGA 2.0. Where's MAGA? What's next? Because whatever it is, it's without President Trump leading it. We got to find new leaders, not leader, leaders. And we have to define it. And if we don't define it, guess what? The rhinos will. And they'll feign MAGA. See, this is what they do, Anthony. They feign MAGA. Oh, yeah, I'm MAGA. And then they're, wars and everything else. So, Anthony, good to have you with us. You're fired up today. Great to have you. You, my friends, are on the John Fredericks Media Network. We are Trucking the Truth across America. We're live for 2 days at the Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit at the War College, Root Hall, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. This made possible by our sponsor, Senator Dan McCormick, Congressman, Pennsylvania 9th District, Dan Muser, State Senator, 19th District, I think, right? 18th District, State Senator, Pennsylvania, Jared Coleman. Thank you, Jared. And Pace-O-Matic. Right here, right in the thick of it, John Fredericks Media Network Live, Carlisle. President Trump tomorrow, General Kane, today we're going to be breaking in all day with a live feed from Carlisle. It's going to be hot. Thanks for being with us. We're going to be right back. Phil Klein coming up, plus your calls, 888-480-JOHN.
WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, 100.5, 107.7, 92.7 FM, AM 820, and WJFB, Portsmouth, AM 1650.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. Georgia's military said it intercepted 4 missiles launched by Iran. Jordan hosts U.S. forces and aircraft. And this attack came as Iran also targeted Bahrain on Tuesday morning, following a new round of American strikes targeting the Islamic Republic. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster has named Darlene Graham Nordone as her late brother Lindsey Graham's temporary replacement in the Senate. Nordone will serve the majority of the remaining months of his term, which ends in January. Majority Leader John Thune says she'll be sworn in this afternoon. Meanwhile, national politics reporter Meg Kennard says Senate colleagues are feeling Lindsey Graham's death personally.
Even though there are deep partisan divides when it comes to the issues, members of the Senate have been known to be pretty tight with one another across the aisle. And many Democrats and Republicans since Graham's death have taken to social media and done a number of news interviews reflecting on their work with him. And even if they disagreed on something, appreciation for his passion for the issues that he worked on.
Reporter Meg Kennard. Tough times for some dairy farmers in Vermont.
That's because some dairy processors gave up on the state. A recent wave of dairy plant closures highlighting pressures like high cost and aging infrastructure. Vermont dairy farms face an $8.65 loss per 100 pounds of milk, while California and Texas farmers are seeing profits. Elected officials are seeking reforms to support the industry, but the future remains very uncertain. Jason Walker reporting.
And oil prices are higher. World shares are mixed after markets in Tokyo and Seoul rebounded from earlier losses. More on these stories from townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716.
The deal to create a media juggernaut is being challenged in a major lawsuit.
12 states challenged Paramount's takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery on Monday, filing a lawsuit that argues the $81 billion mega merger would, quote, extinguish competition in Hollywood and threaten jobs across the industry. The Office of California's Attorney General, who is leading that coalition, alleged the proposed merger would lead to higher prices, lower quality, and less content for film and television. Bob Agnew reporting.
A proposed legal settlement with the U.S. government would require the Keystone Pipeline System's Canadian-based operator to pay a civil penalty of nearly $27 million over a major oil spill in Kansas back in December 2022. And Major League Baseball facing a potential work stoppage over management's proposed salary cap. The current labor contract will expire on December 1st. News and analysis at townhall.com. Oil was up. Stocks were off Monday.
Oil prices jumped following a weekend of attacks in the Middle East, while slumping AI companies weighed on global stock markets. The price of Brent crude rose nearly 10% Monday. That came after the U.S. and Iran each said that the Strait of Hormuz is under its control. Oil prices are still below their wartime peak, but the sharp move higher Monday sent Treasury yields climbing in the bond market on worries about inflation. On Wall Street, the S&P 500 fell 0.8%. The Dow dropped 138 points, that's about 0.3%. The Nasdaq Composite fell 1.6%. Seth Sutel, New York.
China reporting its exports picked up pace in June, jumping 27% from a year earlier. That's thanks to strong demand from the boom in artificial intelligence. The strength in export manufacturing has helped to offset weakness in domestic spending and investment. More on these stories at townhall.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Van Hillary has fought for America before, and he's ready to do it again. As an Air Force navigator in Desert Storm, Van's mission was simple: chart the course, stay on mission. When he came home to Tennessee, he won an election nobody thought a Republican could win. Then he did it again and again. For almost a decade, America First conservative Van Hillary has fought the radical left, stood with President Trump, and never folded, securing our border, cutting taxes, and bringing jobs to Tennessee.
Radical Democrats are trying to hijack our country. President Trump needs a conservative fighter who knows how to win. I'll keep fighting to help President Trump finish what he started, keeping our border secure, growing our economy, and destroying the woke agenda. I'm Van Hillary, and I approve this message because I'm standing with President Trump to get America back on mission.
America First conservative Van Hillary. He's never folded, and he never will. Paid for by Van for Tennessee.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com.
Ponder this. Why would God permit evil to occur? Why does he allow bad things to happen to good people? Why doesn't he intercede when innocent people are unjustly accused? These questions sometimes cause good people to turn their face away from God and question the very existence of God. But God does exist, and he does permit evil. Why, you ask? The short answer is that God permits evil to bring about a greater good. Think about this. The greatest evil ever committed is the killing of our God, Jesus Christ, the second person of the Holy Trinity. From this great evil came the greatest good, the opening of the gates of heaven. That's right, heaven did not open until Christ shed his blood for us. We must always trust God's plan for our salvation, especially when hard times fall upon us. Pray, trust, and persevere in good times and bad. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, Just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of truth, the Oracle of the deplorables, the man who never has a failure to communicate, John Fredericks.
Great to have you back on the John Fredericks Media Network. We are live at the Defense and Innovation Defense Summit by Dave McCormick. This is at the War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Great to have you with us. Welcome and opening remarks are going to be from Major General Trevor Brenkamp. That's at about 8:30. And then we're going to get with us here live, Dave McCormick, about 8. So he's going to be here live. Got a great show for you today. President Trump's going to be joining us on Wednesday. You don't want to miss that. We're going to be live streaming this thing for 2 days. This thing is massive. There's about 200 or so sponsors. I don't know how many booths there are, defense companies that have come in, but this thing is rocking and rolling. Dave McCormick, the senator, he's been there 18 months. He's done a remarkable job. This guy's a tireless worker. Absolutely remarkable job in getting all this done. So want to thank him for that. Want to thank our sponsors, all of them, of which we would not be here today. Want to thank State Senator Jared Coleman for being one of our sponsors. Thank you, Jared. Representing Pennsylvania Senate District 16 is our sponsors. He'll be calling in a little bit later on today as well. We've got Congressman Dan Muser. Dan, for that. He'll be calling in as well. Dan, Congressman, District 9, Republican in Pennsylvania. Of course, Senator Dave McCormick and our good friend Mike Barley, part of the Pennsylvania Posse and Peso-Matic. Want to thank them for sponsoring this, making this possible, and we thank them for that. And let's get to the phone lines, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Let's get to John in Southwest Virginia. John, you're live.
Hey, good morning, John. Hope you're enjoying your time up there at the Army War College.
Yes, sir.
Just quick comment before I get to my comment question. I thought you were a 1775 man. Why didn't you guys take your coffee with you to your hotel room and kick it together, brew it together before you guys hit the road to the War College?
We did.
Instead of stopping by.
We did.
Sheets or
you
did. You just ran out.
But you pour a cup of coffee. It's a 35-minute ride, and by the time you get to the War College in Carlisle, the coffee, the 1775, is gone. You drank it. As you brought one cup, you can't bring two because it'll get cold. So you drink that, and then we had to stop and get a big one for coming in here, and that's why we went to Sheets.
I got you. Hey,
but I got my 1775 in my room. I bring my own Keurig, my little portable, because half the time, like when we stay at the Marriotts, they don't have the Keurigs. They have those things that you slide in, which is like you might as well drink pea water out of the toilet. But
you have it on your bus too, because I've drank it there with you. You have it on your bus too. Hey, I got a quick my comment and question probably is dealing with Chief Justice Roberts. This whole thing with the Supreme Court has been bothers me a lot when I see the way they rule on certain things. And then I got to thinking again the other day, and looking back, and I've got a theory. John Roberts is good buddies by his own admission and by Norm Eisen's admission. Norm Eisen, he's the man who practically wrote the Deep State's playbook on color revolutions, all things anti-Trump and lawfare, in the United States. He and Justice Roberts spent a week together over at Eisen's estate in the Czech Republic, where he used to be ambassador. I believe it was under Obama, and so. Under the auspices or the guise of let's discuss all things law about America and European law. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. There's no way that they could be together that long, or they could be discussing law without covering some of the important cases that would be coming before the court. Now, Mike Benz investigated this. Mike Benz, investigative reporter, pretty smart guy, pretty sharp guy, pretty thorough guy. he reported on this. I guess what all this happened early last year, and I read somewhere, and I couldn't find this, but that there was some assurance that Roberts had given Eisen, and I don't know this for a fact, but this is what comes to mind, was that he kind of assured Norm Eisen that that the president was going to win some cases, but that the important cases he wasn't going to win. He wouldn't let him win. And then I think back of things, like you might immigration. You could win some things on immigration.
Yeah, but what is your bottom line here, John? What are you? What's the inference here?
Okay, my bottom line is I see that there's a big deep state influence with John Roberts. I have questions about his fidelity to the system, and I was wondering what you thought about that. If you've heard anything like that, and if you've seen any discussions.
I don't really get into that level of conspiratorial conjecture. I don't care what Norm Eisen is or what he says. It has no meaning to me. Look, George W. picked him. I didn't like the pick at the beginning. I didn't think his record was strong enough as a conservative. So, this is what happens. I think that Roberts' main concern is what his legacy is in the New York Times. That's it. And he's just not a conservative. And if you're not a conservative, you don't believe in the constitutional law, you don't believe in the Constitution, then you're going to continue to make decisions like he did on Obamacare and right down the line. I mean, at the end of the day, anything that matters, Roberts is going to vote the other way. And what is worse is he's got the Amy Coney Barrett axis with him because they vote as a team. And so two people are now controlling every court decision. This was the column I had written about a week ago. They control every decision, period. So it doesn't matter. You got 3 and 3. And so it's either going to be you had 4. It's either going to be 6-3 or 5-4 liberals. Two people are now running the judicial system in the country. Two people, Coney Barrett and Roberts. That's it, because they vote as a team. And I can't call it collusion because I can't prove that. So I can't say they're colluding. I can't do that. I have no proof. But when two people that are supposed to be conservative vote with the liberals this much, and their votes are the same 90% of the time, either way, you can say, well, Alito and Thomas's votes are 100% the same. Okay, but they vote the same way. These two people, their votes are 90% the same, and they swing back and forth like they're at a party. So, I mean, this way, that way, this way, that way, they're voting in lockstep. So I don't know what the conspiracy is here, other than that Roberts is a horrible justice. Leave it at that, dude. He's the David Souter of our time. That's what he is. But I don't know about Eisen and all that stuff. Okay, so no Phil Klein. Okay, I thought we were getting them on today. But no, 888-480-JOHN. All right, John, I'll give the final word. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just thought it was awful strange that somebody who's supposed to be above the fray on the Supreme Court kind of puts himself in entangling alliances that are questionable, where he should be recusing himself, and listening to a lot of the cases that people like Norm Eisen has had a part in. I don't see John Roberts recusing himself at all. I'd like to see him go, but there you go. That's kind of my bottom line.
I mean,
and I appreciate you taking my call, John.
To think of the court we could have had. The court we could have had. The court we don't have, but we could have had. If we had two more constitutional conservatives, every vote would be 6-3. Every single vote. Instead, Coney Barrett has just been such a catastrophe. And I was, look, I bought into the hype, the Catholic, the kids, the whole thing. I bought into it. So I'm as guilty as anybody. She's a disaster. Even if we had picked a constitutional conservative in lieu of her, Roberts would have been isolated. We would have won all these cases 5-4. Roberts would have been meaningless. There'd be no Roberts court. It would be a Clarence Thomas court, whether he was a Chief Justice or not, or Alito's court, Chief Justice or not. Instead, we went with Coney Barrett, which I thought would be the pick of our time, and she turned out to be a complete colossal disaster. So you don't know. That's the problem with these judges. I mean, whenever you pick a liberal, they vote liberal like 1 million out of a million. You pick a conservative, and if you get, 65, if you get 60%, you're popping a champagne. Because they all want their legacy in the New York Times to be, the great John Roberts, he worked across the lines. He, made his own decisions. He was the independent thinker, rata. Clarence Thomas, his New York Times will be, right-wing crazy man. So that's what he's after, I guess. But I'm with you, John. All right, quick break, quick word from our sponsors. I'll be right back.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
All right, got your back. Great to have you with us. We're live at the Dave McCormick Defense Innovation Summit, War College, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I want to thank Dave McCormick, one of our sponsors, going to be with us at 8, the senator. Also want to thank Congressman Dan Muser as one of our sponsors. Thank you, Dan. And speaking of Dan, don't forget that ad we sent you, Dan. Be sure and get that up. Thank you. Let's get to a couple other things. Let's get to more phone calls. If you want to weigh in, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. And we're going to get some clips here as we look forward to some of the things going on in the War College as we get as we move forward here, Dan. And let's just make it easy Dan, and we're going to start with cut. Well, I'm going to start with cut 3 here. This is President Trump yesterday on John Thune. He said that Thune is very loyal to Mitch McConnell, but he's not voted for the Save America Act. I mean, this is the balancing act that Trump is playing here, trying to say nice things about these senators because he's trying to get their vote, but he never will. So I don't know what's going on with McConnell. I don't know what his health situation is. I have no information other than I don't know. But the whole thing seems like weekend at Bernie's. Cut 3, Trump, roll it.
See the video, or the picture, I should say, of Mitch McConnell this weekend, and what do you think of his outlook? What are you hearing?
Well, I don't hear much. I was, never a huge fan, but he's one of the people. He should be voting for John Thune because, John Thune was loyal to him, whether you like John Thune or not. John Thune was very loyal to Mitch McConnell, and Mitch McConnell's like a no vote on Save America Act, which is, basically, you think about it, it's voter ID, it's proof of citizenship, and it's no mail-in ballots except for the military disabled, sick, or if you're sick, or traveling, which is pretty generous right there. But the mail-in ballots might be the most important of those 3 items. But he's against that. Now, how can anybody be against that? And against some other things, so it's too bad. But, I hope he's going to be fine. I don't know if he's fine, but I certainly hope he's going to be fine.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I tell you what's weird, though. I tell you what's really weird was that whole Scott Jennings thing. Like, what was that about? I talked to him for 20 minutes. He's fine, but I don't have a picture, but I don't have an audio, but I worked for him, but he's fine, and then Mary Walters, I talked to him too. What? You're not even a radio host anymore, Mary. You sub for people. Nice lady. None of that made sense to me. I don't think it made sense to anybody. Whole thing seemed a little shaky and shifty. Now, I'm going to play, we're going to get to, let me be sure I get the right number here. It's going to be 2, Dan. This is Angus King, independent senator of Maine. This is interesting. I want you to hear what he's saying, and then I'm going to break it down for you, right? So let's go to cut 2. Take a listen. He's going to piss you off, but then I'm going to break down what this is really about. Roll it, Dan. Take a look.
The larger question, John, is why do we have these guys on our streets? Why are they in Biddeford, Maine? The whole premise of this project is false. You've heard over and over and over that it's all about the worst of the worst. Well, they were in Maine in the winter, went through this big crackdown, if you will, arrested over 200 people. About 19 or 20 of those people had some kind of criminal record. 90% had no criminal record. So this is not about the worst of the worst. This is a broad sweep with people with a quota. They've been told they have to arrest 2,000 people a day by the White House.
Let me break this down for you, okay? What Angus King is saying is, look, we've been misled because we were told that the immigration crackdown is to get rid of criminals. And so 90% of the people that have been arrested are not criminals. Okay. The premise of your statement is false, King. First of all, you're not an independent, you're a libtard. So let's get that straight. You shove that word independent up your butt because you vote with them 100% of the time. You're a total libtard. You're no more independent than AOC. So shut up. Secondly, that's number 1. Number 2, the purpose of the ICE raids are to deport people that came to the country illegally, prioritizing those that committed crimes so they don't rape your daughter. It's a good plan. But the purpose of ICE and the immigration crackdown is not just to extract criminals. It is to remove people that are here illegally. And if you are here illegally, you are illegal and you have broke our law. and therefore you need to be deported. That was the promise made. That's why Trump got almost 80 million votes. To get them out, Angus King, independent, my ass. To get them out. Prioritizing criminals, because you only have so many ICE agents. So you prioritize criminals, but in your sweep, if they find somebody who is here illegally, that broke U.S. law to get here, you're going to get removed. And that is the purpose of this. See, because we went around saying, Pam Bondi and them saying, we're prioritizing illegals, we're prioritizing criminals, then they think, well, that's all you're doing is getting rid. No, we never said that. You know, if we got to go to town A or town B, and we only have resources to get the one, and there's a criminal in town B, that's where we're going to go first. But along with that criminal, we find 5 other people that are here illegally, they're gone, which is the promise made of why he got almost 80 million votes and won the popular vote. So again, we're being gaslighted by the Angus Kings of the world. This is total gaslighting. The purpose of ICE is very simple: to deport people that are here illegally. Get them out. You got 30 million came here illegally. You're not going to deport 30 million. Maybe you can do 5, but you got to get them out. And I got an idea. If you're afraid to get deported, pack your bags, take your family, go back to the country you came from, and then go through the system like you're supposed to. And then you're good. Get out. Or we're going to remove you because you're illegal. Period. Angus King, jackass. I'll be right back.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Ponder this. It's amazing how many of us choose to go about our daily life without recognizing others who cross our paths each day. Take, for example, your morning walk, run, or workout at the gym. As we encounter others, often we don't make eye contact, let alone smile or greet each other. Listening to music or a podcast with our earbuds is so much more preferable than having to greet others we encounter. As a result, people are becoming more and more disconnected from each other. So let's start a human connection trend. Here's an experiment for you to try. Put your phone and earbuds away for a day while in public. Try to engage others in your path with a simple smile and a kind hello. These simple gestures will become a powerful force in the world. A smile costs nothing, but can be a powerful tool to brighten the day for others. Let your smile be a light for all to see. It's a gesture of love from the Lord. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Pennsylvania's big casinos want it all. Your money, your games, your choice. They rake in millions, then lobby Harrisburg to shut down the small businesses that dare to compete. Bars, VFWs, local spots, crushed so the casino giants can get even richer. They want to rig the system against you, but Pesomatic is fighting back. Skill games, fair play, real competition. No monopolies, no backroom deals. Just your right to play and win. Call Harrisburg now. Stand with small business. Stand with Pesomatic. Pesomatic, leveling the playing field. Paid for by Pesomatic.
We're better than we are. We're not good enough. We shouldn't even be thinking about beating this 49ers. We shouldn't be talking about it because the Saints ain't good enough. And you guys shouldn't write about us being a playoff team and all that bull stuff. That's malarkey. We ain't good enough to beat those guys, and it was proven out there today. It's that simple. We're not good enough yet. We got a long way to go. We got a lot of work to do. We're close, and close don't mean... And you can put that on TV for me. I'm tired of coming close, and we're going to work off till we ain't close anymore, and it may take some time. We're going to get it done. We aren't in there. We aren't good enough. They're better than us. Black and white, simple fact. Could have, would have, should have is the difference of what I'm talking about. The good teams don't come in and say could have. They get it done. All right? It's that simple. I'm tired of saying could have, should have, would have. That's why we ain't good enough yet, because we're saying could have and they ain't.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
All right, it's good to have you back. We are. This is a great event that we're at, the Senator Dave McCormick, Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit. McCormick's going to be with us, we think, around the 8 o'clock hour. Right now, he's with Maria Bartiromo upstairs, but he'll be here pretty soon. Michael Coleman with me, plus we're going to take your calls and also your text. Don't forget, Dan, put this in the Chiron. You can text us, very simple. All you got to do is text 878-256-9062, 878-256-9062, and you get good to go. This segment brought to you by State Senator Jared Coleman. He is Pennsylvania's state senator for the 16th district that is serving Lehigh and Bucks counties, fighting data centers for you. Also was key in fighting the Shapiro ridiculous budget, trying to get a lot of things extended for the rebates, also fighting data centers. And if you want to stay up to date with the budget talks, legislation, and more in Pennsylvania, you can sign up for his newsletter. Just go to senatorcoleman.com/newsletters, e-newsletters, senatorcoleman.com/e-newsletters, and you can sign up if you're in Pennsylvania or anywhere for his newsletter there. And this message brought to you by Senator Jared Coleman, and we thank you, Jared, for that and for being a sponsor of our Defense and Innovation Summit. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate you. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646 if you want to weigh in. We'd love to get your calls here. And we're going to read a couple of texts that I got. If I can do this very quickly. This is from Tim. Tim says, good morning, John. As usual, your show is great. You're exactly right about Angus King. All illegals are illegal. These people are out of their minds. They can't grasp the concept of illegal. So you got that right. You got Mike in Richmond says, I love Trump's idea of charging 20% to protect the straits. I think that's a great idea, and I'm with him 100% on that. John in Monmouth County, New Jersey said, the unjustified surge in oil is manufactured by globalists wetting their diapers over the 20% charge for protection of the straits. These freeloaders will eventually run out of steam. Oil is going down, and he's right. They are freeloaders. Larry from Vegas in Virginia says, good morning, John. You're spot on. Also, I would bomb their runways. I see Russia is sending planes to Iran to get their scientists out, but we know that the Russians are sending weapons there as well. So Larry is spot on. You can text us, 878-256-9062, 878-256-9062. Okay, I'm going to get to a couple clips here. Let's get to cut 4. Here's Ari Fleischer talking about socialism is rising within the Democratic Party, and he says it's going to be their kiss of death. 4, take a listen.
I've got news for the Democrats. They need to wake up and smell the coffee. The socialist arising in the United States is going to be the kiss of death for many Democrats throughout the country. They are not there to work with the Democrats. They are there to take over from the Democrats. And it's about time the Democrats stood up to the growing socialist movement and stood up for principles, Sean, like you just walked through, things they should object to, that once made them a great party that was competitive. This is terrible for the Democrats.
No kidding. But we'll see. Because they have a movement, and they have a ground game, and they put ballots in boxes, and we play golf and have congressmen come into the Capitol Hill Club and eat chicken fingers from Chick-fil-A and cheap wine. See, that's what we do, which is basically nothing. Hey, but we got a badge on that says like chairman. And we can run around to the conventions and things like that and sit on committees and think we're doing something. But it's all fake. It's all a facade. That's what we're trying to change. This is what MAGA 2.0 is about. John says, you keep saying you're defining MAGA 2.0. Define it in a word. Okay, fighters. That's it. Fighters. Not John Thune. Not Murkowski. Not Cornyn. Not Cassidy. None of them. Fighters. MAGA fighters. That's what MAGA 2.0 is. You're either going to fight or you're going to go on the sidelines. You're either going to get in the game or you're going to sit on the pine. You don't want to get in the game. You don't want to fight. Grab some pine, as they say. Got to have that edge, man. It's like pitching. There's something about pitching, man. You just got to have an edge. You just can't go out there and let me see if I can spot my fastball. You're going to get hammered. You got to have an edge. And you strike somebody out. I strike somebody out, and I'm thinking to myself, go grab some pine, loser. You got to have an edge. Somebody's crowding the plate, I'll hit him. Hope they're okay. I'll get a double play ball. I'll get the next guy out, but you're not going to be crowding my plate so you can get my changeup on the outside corner, or are you going to get my sweeper? No. Or my forkball? No. I'm going to knock you down until you get off my friggin' plate. And you do it again, I'll knock you down again. I'll take the 2 HBPs. I mean, that's old school baseball, man. You got to fight. Just like Morris said, if, shoulda, coulda, woulda, coulda. Hey, you got your ass kicked in the second half. Right now, we're getting our ass kicked. We're getting our ass kicked. Simple. You follow any sport whatsoever, you're getting your butt kicked everywhere because you have no game. And you want to hide behind mommy's apron and let the parliamentarian run the country. The whole thing is absurd beyond the pale. Okay, before we get to Rob, let's get to, what is it? I think this is cut 5. Dan, let's get to cut 5. Here's Brianna Lyman accusing Mayor Mamdani. This is unbelievable. He puts on a map and he leaves out Little Italy. He's erasing history because he doesn't like Italians now, because he doesn't like Catholics. See, when I grew up, every Sunday, we went to Little Italy for dinner. We drove from New Jersey. I mean, that's what you did. We went to Angelo's. Rob's parents know this. My parents, my father had 2 favorite restaurants, and we went with my uncle Angelo. Figure that one out, right? We went to Patsy's or Angelo's in Little Italy. Park your car there in the street. You went downstairs. You went to Patsy's or you went to Angelo's. Almost every Sunday. Drive in, have dinner, drive out. Go through the tunnel. We lived in Jersey. And now they're erasing history. Like Little Italy doesn't exist. I got to get, you know who I got to get on? It's that congressman. I got to read it. Rossini. I got to get him on. I got to call him today. Okay, cut 4. Roll it.
By the Corcoran Group. Now, rent prices in both New York and Brooklyn are now at record highs, despite Mamdani's big promise to bring down rents via socialist, price controls. What happened to the free buses? Oh, broken promise. Meanwhile, it's no secret the New York City and state they have seen a millionaire exodus. Listen to this. Another new study found that New York's share of millionaires is dropping fast, nearly $11 billion fleeing the state in just 1 year. Congratulations, Mamdani and Kathy Hochul. Bruce Blakeman is looking more, appealing every day. And by the way, of course, we can't forget Mamdani's new city map that conveniently left out several immigrant groups that literally helped build New York City, including, the famous Little Italy. The Federalists, our friend Brianna Lyman, was asking New Yorkers what they think about the new map. I'm guessing they didn't like it. Let's take a look.
New York City Mayor Mamdani released a new map with about 30 different little ethnic neighborhoods, but missing was Little Italy. Do you think that was done on purpose?
Without a doubt. Everything he does is on purpose.
I'd love to give him the benefit of the doubt on this, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, time will tell if it's an honest mistake.
I don't know what his intentions were, but I think Little Italy should be included.
With the history that there is actually here in New York with Italians, with Chinese, it would be like leaving a little Chinatown out.
He's putting it back on the map, he says. Do you think that's a good thing?
I think it's a good thing. I'm not sure why was it omitted in the first place.
Little Italy will always be on the map. It's never going to go away.
I don't see why there shouldn't be protection for Little Italy. If we don't protect our ethnic neighborhoods that made New York, New York.
All right, joining us with more, Federalist Brianna Lyman is with us. All right, so my understanding is that he kept off the map not only Little Italy, but also big Irish and Jewish neighborhoods, but spotlighted 30 other areas, including Little Palestine, Koreatown, Little Pakistan, Little Odessa. Can you explain that?
Yeah, no, don't forget Little India, Little Bangladesh. I mean, there are 30 little places that, quite frankly, I think surprised a lot of people. And I don't think I was surprised to hear all of these New Yorkers say Little Italy deserved a spot on that map because it is one of New York City's most recognizable neighborhoods, because it is part of New York City's history. It's part of that Ellis Island immigration history, no matter how much Mamdani may try to erase it. But
Unbelievable. Little Italy, one of the most iconic neighborhoods in New York. Like I said, we went there probably, I said every Sunday, it's not true, probably every other Sunday. Patsy's or Angelo's, and they rotated between the two. You went downstairs, and my father, they'd order pasta. I think I would get the eggplant parmesan, one of the best places ever. Not sure if they're still there. I think when I first got married, I took Ann there a couple times. I don't remember. I haven't been there in a while. Let's get to Rob in New York. Rob, you're live.
God, and that's just one of many crazy things going on in this country. Total snub, and even if Italian food is not your thing, everybody knows about Little Italy. You see it in the movies that depict New York City. If you're interested in mob history, some of the great mobsters lived over there, as well as in the Bensonhurst section of Brooklyn. It's insane. And that's one of the cool things about New York, especially the older ethnic neighborhoods. Like, for example, Greenpoint, Brooklyn used to be heavily Polish. It's now the hipsters have taken it over. But people know this. And you respected those neighborhoods. You'd go to visit, or maybe you wanted to eat something or buy something. It's crazy. But I wanted to talk about something else. I'm watching this crazy thing with Ro Khanna about his publicity stunt that he did over in Israel.
Yeah.
And when I see something like that, it tells me that the Democrats must know they're losing a lot of messages. They're losing the narrative. Except they really aren't, because the Republican Party, under the collaborator, as you call him, Thune, and the do-nothing Senate, they're just handing these guys a win anyway. It makes absolutely no sense. Mm-hmm. This guy's lying. He's making up a story. They're gonna spin this ICE thing up in Maine. You pointed it out with Senator Angus King there. Your whole premise is wrong. If you're here illegally, you broke the law. It doesn't matter that you're keeping your nose out of trouble. You still broke the law.
Right.
Now we could argue about how quickly you should be deported, this and that or the other thing, but it's all false. Right. Why are we letting them get away with this nonsense?
Right.
It's beyond me. I don't get it. We want to lose.
Exactly. Well, that's been my point on the show now for 6 months. You understand they don't want to win. Thune is shaving points. He's a point shaver. They're playing to lose. Just go to ESPN.com and put in the search bar point shaving scandal. You get 100 of them in basketball, one after the other. They're point shaving. That's what he's doing. You play to lose the game. Mike Singletary says, I got to play to win the game. Thune is the guy he doesn't want to put in. When he says, I'd rather play with 10 players than 11, because I got one guy not buying into the team, I'd rather take the penalty every single down. Because you can't coach him, you can't play with him. Thune is the guy that Singletary is talking about. And the whole bunch of them in there. These people don't want to win. They don't want to win. MAGA 2.0 is about winning and fighting. They don't want to put ballots in boxes. They don't want to do mail-in ballots. They don't want to win. They don't want to do the SAVE Act. They want illegals to vote. Therefore, they lose. And in losing, they stop they are there to stop the acceleration of our demise. They simply drag it out until they're dead. And then they don't care. As long as they get their limos and their coffees and their, all their perks. This is why I detest them. At least the communist, the jihadist, the Marxist, at least they stand for something and they're fighting. That's why they're a formidable foe. When you are fighting somebody that wants to win and you don't have the will, you are going to lose. I saw last year, with the Maryland baseball team. Joe was hurt. He was out. I think he pitched 2 games, out the whole season. So I went to the games. They didn't care. Stats, move on. Where am I going next? Somebody batting fifth, doesn't get a hit in Friday night. Swope puts him down to seventh, sitting on the end of the bench, sulking. What? Out. Swope got them all out. 35 players. Coach of Maryland baseball, Tim Swope, 7 of them gone. 8 players remain. You want a clean house? You got a clean house. Give me fighters. I don't care if they're D2, D3, JUCO, who they are. That's what Joe says. Give me a roster full of guys that want to win. And then we'll win. Get me guys that are playing for their stats so they can get more NIL money from the ACC or the SEC next season. Forget about it. Not going to win. Don't care. I'd sit there, if you're a baseball fan, down by 2 runs, bottom of the 5th. Guy on second base, no outs. Right-handed batter. Not going to say who, but now you got me started, Rob. Right-handed batter. If you know baseball, down by 2 runs, right? Got to get at least 1 run. Got a guy on second, nobody out. Outside pitch, outside corner. Hit the ball to second base. Get him over to third. Get a fly ball. Now you're down by 1. That's team baseball. Instead, tries to pull the ball to get a base hit to get an RBI or to get a single. Doesn't care about moving him over. Won't give up his at bat. Won't give up the stat to help the team. Soon as I saw that, fifth game of the season, 3rd game of the season, I'm like, this team's done. Trying to pull the ball to get a hit when all you got to do is get him over to third, and then you're down by a run. No, it's all about them. When it's all about you, you cannot win. We need winners, and we don't have them. That's why we're losing, dude. And I don't care if I got to go on this show and say this every single day. You cannot win with John Thune as your majority leader because he doesn't want to win the game. Period. Sorry to get me started. Go ahead. Apologize for that.
I'm
Rob.
glad, no, there's no need to apologize. I did that on purpose because people need to hear this message. Because what I get from my Republican friends up here, they're like beside themselves because Trump recommended that McMaster appoints Graham's sister, and I said, does it really matter? They have a special election now in less than a month with people with actual political experience. Does it matter that he wants to honor the guy's legacy for a little bit? Oh, but there's votes. Votes? I said, what votes is Thune bringing to the floor?
Good point.
You're worried. You're worried about Graham's sister? She might be a nice woman. I don't know anything about her. I mean, obviously you could tell she's deeply distraught because he took care of her. He essentially adopted her when she was 13.
Right.
She loved the guy. So, maybe she votes like how, hey, how would Lindsay vote? Great. But it doesn't matter. The Senate's pretty much on recess until the fall. They're not doing anything. And even when they come back, they're not going to do anything because John Thune does not want to win. That's why I brought this up, John. And you're right for going on it. And you have no need to apologize for it because anyone tuning into your show, anyone anywhere in this country needs to understand that. We can't if you don't have a coach or a manager or whatever it is based on the type of sports you follow. We don't have a leader. Trump can't do all of this himself. Trump can't pass laws. He's the president. He executes laws. Horrible. I can't believe we're having this discussion in 2026 with the country hanging by a thread. This is what we're worried about.
Rob, you're
Unreal.
spot on. You're spot on. You play to win the game. That's why we play these coaches clips. And when we get back, we got to get a little Herman Edwards here. You play the game to win the game. I don't care if you got no win. I love this. I can't get enough of that every single day. How come you don't have any wins? You play to win the game, period. You can't, get out. That's why I love what Coach Tim Swope has done. The guy's got balls. He played ball there. He gets it. He's a ball player. He played there for years. He was a star there. Biggest star the University of Maryland ever had was Tim Swope. He hit like 380. Went to the minor leagues. Great guy. Because I can't win with these players. So he cleaned the house. The Baltimore Sun got all over him. You know what? I got so much respect for him. Because he's like, you know what? No. I'm going to bring in all new team, all new culture. Maybe they don't have some of the talent, but I'm going to get them there. But I'm going to get players that want to win the game. And then we'll win games. That's the way it works. Rob, thank you. Up next, we think Dave McCormick, when he makes it over, we're not sure, but we're going to be here waiting. John, hang on. I'll get right to you. 888-480-JOHN.
Bags don't mean much. And they don't mean much when you're dealing with honorable people, too, because it's a memorandum of understanding. It doesn't mean much. And I said, why are we even, it's a standard tactic in the U.S. that you go to a memorandum of understanding and then you go to the deal. I said, just go to the deal first. But you know what? It was sort of a test. And they weren't there. They didn't honor the test. We had it. We had this deal settled numerous times. I said, watch. I guarantee, watch. And they never followed it.
Due to Iranian non-compliance, the U.S. launching a third night of strikes against a broad swath of Iran. President Trump notified Congress that limited military action had resumed. On another battlefront, new works in store to help Ukraine to combat the threat from Russia.
Ukraine and 9 other countries announced that they are forming a coalition to protect Europe from ballistic missiles. Zelensky was in Paris seeking help in developing measures against Russia's missile attacks that have pummeled Ukraine as the rest of Europe remains wary of Moscow's wider ambitions on the continent. Zelensky and leaders of Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, Sweden, and the United Kingdom say they recognize the growing threat posed by ballistic missiles, which are harder to stop than cruise missiles or drones. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And Darlene Graham Nordone has been selected. She'll be her late brother Lindsey Graham's temporary replacement in the U.S. Senate. More on these stories from townhall.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-419-2387. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-419-2387. 800-419-2387. 800-419-2387.
A fatality and wildfire fighting efforts in the western U.S.
Authorities say an aircraft helping fight a Colorado wildfire has crashed into a reservoir, killing the pilot. The Gunnison County Sheriff's Office reports the aircraft went down in the Silverjack Reservoir, and the pilot's body was recovered by divers. The pilot was assisting with the Gold Mountain Fire, which has been burning for 2 weeks and is 13% contained. Last week, wildland firefighters in Colorado paid tribute to 3 colleagues who died fighting a fire on the Colorado-Utah border. Many large fires continue across the West, including in Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico. The National Weather Service says there are fire weather concerns due to prolonged hot and dry conditions. I'm Haya Panjwani.
And firefighters stopping the spread of 2 wildfires Monday in Northern California's wine country. Lifted evacuation notices as crews did gain containment before nightfall. News at townhall.com. France and Spain play today in Dallas in the first of 2 powerhouse semifinal matches. This is the first World Cup since 1990. that each of the Final Four teams are former champions. Defending champion Argentina and England play in the other semifinal match. If it seems to you that Major League pitchers are throwing harder than ever, you are correct. Bob Agnew reports.
Four-seam fastballs averaged 94.7 miles an hour through Saturday, up from 94.5 last year. The average was just 91.9 miles an hour when Major League Baseball first started tracking in 2008. This year's average could go up a tick with a total of 6 pitchers now throwing at 100 miles an hour plus, led by a pair of relievers. Aroldis Chapman still holds the record for the fastest officially verified pitch in MLB history at 105.8 back in 2010. Bob Agnew reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Van Hillary has fought for America before, and he's ready to do it again. As an Air Force navigator in Desert Storm, Van's mission was simple: chart the course, stay on mission. When he came home to Tennessee, he won an election nobody thought a Republican could win. Then he did it again and again. For almost a decade, America First conservative Van Hillary has fought the radical left, stood with President Trump, and never folded, securing our border, cutting taxes, and bringing jobs to Tennessee.
Radical Democrats are trying to hijack our country. President Trump needs a conservative fighter who knows how to win. I'll keep fighting to help President Trump finish what he started, keeping our border secure, growing our economy, and destroying the woke agenda. I'm Van Hillary, and I approve this message because I'm standing with President Trump to get America back on mission.
America First conservative Van Hillary. He's never folded, and he never will. Paid for by Van for Tennessee.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Trouble concentrating or recalling information is frustrating, embarrassing, and kills productivity. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created Focus and Recall to boost your brain power. Unlike other supplements that don't work, Focus and Recall is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra absorption of science-backed ingredients to help you immediately sharpen focus, concentrate longer, and strengthen recall. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code GODZILLA.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
Pennsylvania's big casinos want it all. Your money, your games, your choice. They rake in millions, then lobby Harrisburg to shut down the small businesses that dare to compete. Bars, VFWs, local spots, crushed so the casino giants can get even richer. They want to rig the system against you, but Pesomatic is fighting back. Skill games, fair play, real competition. No monopolies, no backroom deals. Just your right to play and win. Call Harrisburg now. Stand with small business. Stand with Pesomatic. Pesomatic, leveling the playing field. Paid for by Pesomatic.
Later on, at summer's close, the crack of bats where heroes rose. We cheered at games beneath the sky, remembering those who sacrificed. Oh, liberty, land of the brave and true, blessed by God
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who plays to win the game, John Fredericks.
All right, you're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Great to have you. We are live. This is quite the event here at Senator McCormick's Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit. We're at the War College in Root Hall, R-O-O-T, Root Hall, in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, at the Army War College, where this thing is hopping. We hope to get Dave in a few minutes if he can make it over. Meantime, your calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. And this event here at the Defense and Innovation Summit put on by Senator Dave McCormick, which is a massive event. President Trump's going to be here on Wednesday, and Dave McCormick opening it at 8:30 today. So we're going to be carrying this live. We're going to have their live stream in and out of some of our programs when some of the featured speaker comes on. Joint Chairman of the Chiefs of Staff, Raising Cane, is going to be speaking pretty soon. Of course, we got President Trump Wednesday. That's the biggest event. And this is brought to you by Senator Dave McCormick. You can go to mccormick.senate.gov and you can get more information there. Also by Pace-O-Matic and Skill Games. Go to paceomatic.com, paceomatic.com for more information. Also brought to you by Congressman Dan Muser, 9th District, Republican, conservative. Dan, fighting for you every day. More information on Dan. Sign up for his newsletter like I did as well. That's muser.house.gov, muser.house.gov, and that's Muser with an E, muser.house.gov. You can do that. And also Senator Jared Coleman, Pennsylvania's 16th District State Senator, serving Lehigh and Bucks counties. And if you want to stay up to date with all the budget talks and everything going on, and legislation, you can sign up for his newsletter, senatorcoleman.com/e-newsletters, senatorcoleman.com/e-newsletters, and you can get them right from there, and you are good to go. 888-480-JOHN. You want to weigh in, 888-480-5646, 888-480-5646. Let's get to John. Let's get to our callers. John in New Jersey. John, you're live. Go ahead, John.
Hey, John. How you doing, pal?
Never bad.
Great show so far.
Thank you.
I had a couple of things. First, when it comes to New York City, first off, Monmouth County is the beneficiary of the mass exodus out of New York. People have to remember, you can reminisce and you can think about Little Italy. Believe me, I lived there for 20 years. That city is gone. It's, mentally ill liberals that are left that have nowhere else to go, and illegal immigrants. That's what the New York City population is now. Like, I think if you had a Hannity clip on, $11 billion has exited just in the last year. Can you imagine what that looks like over the last 10 years with, de Blasio and all those guys?
Well, what do you think it's going to look like? John, what do you think it's going to look like in the next 2 years?
New York City ends, I've said it 1,000 times. Listen, I love it. New York City is the shining hill on the shining city on the hill for communism. They're getting exactly what they voted for. The bottom line is that ends in riots and destruction and bankruptcy. They're just trying to hold on, until it all implodes. And like I said on one of my calls a couple of weeks ago, I guarantee they have it marked to the nickel when that thing falls apart. So the bottom line is, I feel I love what's happening over there. Do you understand it costs you between the crazy toll? You remember I used to go into Little Italy. It cost you $1 at the tunnel.
Yeah.
You go down, you eat, and you come back.
Exactly.
Before you even get to the restaurant, between parking and the tolls, you're in for $100 now. I mean, it's insane. They've done it to themselves. Look, I love it. I wish nothing but the worst for New York City. I can't because I want people need to see it. They can't just hear about it. They need to watch it. And what you need to do is just stare at that and watch it. And that'll be your history lesson that has been hidden from us. And that'll just be, you've said it as well. Let that just unfold. And it's unfolding as we speak. I mean, it's a disaster over there. Who the hell goes to the city anymore? But the bottom line is, what I wanted to talk to you about is that I'm watching oil. First off, I have an investment philosophy that I've been following, and it's made me, I've been on the money with it. I just never bet against Trump. That's my philosophy. Don't bet against this guy. Stay long. Now, with oil, what I'm seeing, the price of oil jumped, okay, but the flow didn't stop, and we have more oil coming out than ever. The lanes are open. Yet, so what I believe that had to be was the kicking and screaming of the globalists over the 20% that these freeloaders do not want to pay. So they probably jacked it and pushed some money in to kind of scare the Trump administration. So like you, I hope he stays steadfast on this 20%. Because that not only will that get other people to participate, because they're not going to want to pay that. They're only going to pay that for so long. So the bottom line is, before everybody wets their pants over the price of oil, just watch it. It's going to start drifting right back down to where it came from. The thing that makes your stomach churn is in one day or in the last 2 days, I've watched the price of gas go up $0.25 at Costco. So it doesn't come down, but flies right back up. It's insane how these companies just gouge, and they really need to be held accountable. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. And in terms of Lindsey Graham's sister, you really think she's going to take any type of vote without calling the White House and saying, hey, President Trump, how should I vote on this? So I was like you. I was a little skeptical, thought it was a little cheesy. But the fact of the matter is you couldn't have a safer vote now.
Why do you?
So
why
those
do you
are
say
the three
that?
things I wanted to share.
Why do you say you can't have a safer vote?
Look, she's not going to do anything without going to Trump. So the bottom line is she's not. You think she's going to be a stalwart and start defiant and follow the likes of a John Thune at this point? I mean, if she does, she'll destroy the legacy of her brother. The bottom line is Trump put her in there for a reason. That seat right now is filled and in very safe hands. As far as I could see, it's just my gut. I mean, listen, anything is possible. But the bottom line is, she's not going to do anything without going to the White House to say, hey, where do you think I should be on this one? You know what I mean? I mean, Trump's been so over the top glowing over her brother. I'm sure she's very appreciative to that. But until they have that special election, I think we're in pretty safe hands on that vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, I was like, well, why would he do that early on? But then I kind of thought about it and thought it through, because sometimes you got to think these things through. And I said, actually, it's a pretty smart move on the White House's part for now. I mean, even though it's temporary. But I'm going to go with you on that. I really like that woman that you're behind. I hope she runs.
Look, I'm for Pam Evitt because I want to fight her. MAGA 2.0 is about fighters. People ask me, I say I'm focused on MAGA 2.0. Well, John, define it. One word, fighter. That's it. Give me a fighter, I'm in. Same thing, and I'm making the analogy of my baseball team. I love Turtles, the Terps. I want fighters. I want people to want to win. I'm a Titans fan. We suck. We win 3 games a season. Mike knows we suck. Okay? Got a great quarterback? Yay. Got a great defensive end? Jeffrey Simmons? Yay. No will to win? You win 3 games. Actually, they should have gotten beaten. The Cardinals game, won 2 games. Got to have the will to win. You don't want to win, you're not going to win. Got to fight. And that's what we lack. We lack fighters. We got too many Republicans want their corner offices and don't do crap. And so that is the frustration that many of us have, John. And so you're right. You're 100% correct. 100%. And if we can go forward here and get the senators in that we need, get the congressmen in that we need, and we can fight, we can have that edge. You have an edge. Like Trump's got an edge. Now, I love what Trump did in Iran, John. I mean, and I got your text earlier. I texted you back, and I read your text on the air. You know, screw the 20%. Hey, screw you. You're 100% correct. A bunch of freeloaders, right? Gouge. They're freeloaders, and then they gouged us. And we're supposed to sit back and just like bend over, John? I don't think so.
You know, and you're right about Thune. I mean, what's frustrating to me, listen, the Democrats are providing right now all the motivation MAGA needs. I mean, people, I'm telling you, man, people are juiced up. Despite these weak-kneed Republicans, I mean, thank God for the Democrats. Just get out of their way because they're providing all the motivation we need right now. I mean, the Democrat Party right now is more important to our movement than the Republican Party. But what's frustrating to me is how these guys don't think they're not going. Like, do they really think, does John Thune think he's not going to be abused in a primary? He will go down in a 50-point loss at this point. Like, either he doesn't care or he's that stupid. Either way, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It's just that is the frustrating part. Like, what do you think that you're not going to be removed at this point? Everything that this movement has been through, we had to sit there with Joe Biden, knowing it was a stolen election for 4 years, and watch that guy destroy our country. Did they really think we're ever going to allow that to go back to that?
Yeah, because they're
out of their minds.
Yeah, because they think we're stupid. Okay, they still think this is a passing fad. You know, Trump's going to go away. We'll get back to Bush 1, Bush 2, Bush 3, Barbara Bush, Jeb Bush, that Bush, this Bush, Romney, Karl Rove. They want to go back there. McCain, right? They want to go back. They want to go back. Trump's gone. You know, the movement's over. MAGA's fighting. You know, Bannon's over there. Candace Owens over here. Tucker's over there. They're all fighting. Shapiro, this, that, and the other. And it's all going to implode, and we're going to get back to the way it was, which was managed decline, feigned opposition, controlled opposition, Fox News, TV for stupid people. That's what they want to get back to. And Thune actually believes I just got to wait this out. You understand? I just got to wait it out, John. I got to wait it out. Waiting for people like me to retire. This is what their goal is. Oh, they're all clickbaiters, you know, it'll all go away. It's all going to go away. We can get back to the way we were. We just got to wait it out. No, you're not going to wait it out. Because, see, you're not going to have McConnell. You're going to get Andy Barr. He's going to kick your ass. You're not going to have Cassidy. You got that lady in, Hey, we got Dave McCormick coming in right now, John. So as soon as we get to Dave, we're going to go. But I'll give you the final word as we get in the senator. Go ahead, John.
Here's what I'm saying. What they don't understand, I mean, bless his heart, and he's the perfect man for the time right now. But Trump is a moderate, okay? As much as they want to make him out as some kind of radical, he's actually a nice guy, and he's a moderate. What's coming up behind him and the movement and the determination and what we want, they better put their football helmets on because they have no idea what's coming. So that's my final word. One day they're gonna say, thank God we had President Trump, because they have no idea. You know, we're getting rid of all of them.
Frame up, Dave. All right, John, we got to go. John, thank you for the call. John in New Jersey, thank you for the call. Yeah, there we go. Joining us live, Senator Dave McCormick, Pennsylvania. Senator, thanks for joining us.
You kidding me? Thank you. Thanks for
Great,
being here.
Great to have you with us. We're live. We're going to be carrying your stream. I got to tell you, Dave, I'm blown away. We're at the Pennsylvania Defense Innovation Summit here at the War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We got here last night, Mike and I, about 7:30. By the way, I got to give a big shout out to Katie. You're phenomenal. You set the whole thing up. You let us in. You waited for us. We were late. Got caught in traffic coming out of D.C. Guess I'm going to give you a shout out. Don't be embarrassed. You're fabulous. This is a fabulous woman. She is the best star you got. But thank you for all you do, honestly. But Dave, we came in here. We were blown away.
Yeah, me too.
And we were like, this guy. He's been in office 18 months. You got like 300 people here.
Yeah.
How did you do this?
It's 1,300. 13. I mean, it's the buses are pulled up there. It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
And we've got 600 C-level executives, 500 companies represented. The president's office is going to come. His cabinet's going to come. And it's all about Pennsylvania, John. So, we're in the middle of this incredible transformation, peace through strength. What does that mean? It means you have to reinvent your military capability. You have to fix a bunch of the problems of the past. The defense establishment essentially let our military capability wane. President Trump's fixing that. And what's happening here is we're going to have all the key defense leaders, all the CEOs of the major companies. We're going to have labor leaders, the president of the building trades, university leaders, community colleges, all coming together to say, how can Pennsylvania be at the forefront of all this incredible change that's happening where it's been in the past? Pennsylvania has been the arsenal of democracy. Pennsylvania is the place where our defense capabilities have been met, our needs have been met in the past. We have 190,000 workers in Pennsylvania that are in the defense industry. We want to double that.
So you want to get to about 400,000 defense workers, and by bringing the defense business here, to put this together in such a short period of time and have this level of senior level participation, Senator, what was your original vision for this?
Yeah. Well, it all started last year where we did an energy and innovation.
Right.
The president was kind enough to come. That turned out to be a home run because we had the energy companies and the AI companies and the big investors in the room, and we really got action. It became a catalyst for other great things happening. And so I talked to the president earlier in the year and I said, the other big area for Pennsylvania is defense. And I said, I'd like to do another one of those. If I did, would you be willing to come? And he said, yeah. And so we started to build out this idea of focusing on the defense capabilities of Pennsylvania, and no better place than the Army War College, which is this incredible facility, as you know.
That's incredible.
In the middle of rural Pennsylvania. This is Carlisle. It's 2 hours from D.C. by car. And it's
by the way, the crow flies.
That's right. It's
in traffic a little bit
maybe
more.
A little bit more. So, but an incredible representation of America's history, Pennsylvania's history, and the military leaders of the future are trained here in Carlisle. So we've got all these, as you walk out of this door, we've got all these booths of next generation technology coming from Pennsylvania that's going to change the future of our military.
So did you have to call each one of these CEOs individually? Like, how do you get this number here at the same time on the same day, 2 hours from DC?
We have a great team that was able to manage all this, but to be honest with you, that it's inbound. People got word of this, and it just like last time, it became big. We're like the dog that caught the car. It's like, oh my goodness, and now we just want to make sure it's a very successful, great experience for everybody.
I also want to compliment you on winning the best state fair exhibit. Ann and I were there.
You saw it, buddy.
I was there. We got our picture taken and sent it to you. And Josh Shapiro, what a clown. I mean, come on. That thing was so good. You actually were able to win that. And the Liberty Bell was there. It was a great exhibit. It was definitely deserved winning. Ann and I were there. It was fabulous.
Yeah, no, we're really proud of that. It was one of these things where the governor had said that he didn't want to put taxpayer dollars. I understand that. And then he had said that the business community didn't want to support it. I was like, I don't think that's, so I started to make a couple calls. People were like, absolutely, we want to support it. And so Senator Fetterman and I got working, and in 48 hours, we went from no booth to the booth you saw. But the thing that the best booth.
No booth to the best booth.
No booth to the best booth. And the thing that made it happen was Pennsylvanians. They came out of the woodwork. We had 55 sponsors people drove down with trucks full of potato chips. And one lady who was a Christmas tree farmer up near where I grew up, we used to have a Christmas tree farm, cut down a tree, put it on a roof, drove 4 hours to D.C. because Pennsylvania's booth needed to have a Christmas tree, given our Christmas tree industry. I mean, it took on a life of its own. And the thing I would say is, being an American, being a patriot, being a proud Pennsylvanian has no party affiliation. You can be proud. We don't have to make this political. You can be proud of Pennsylvania. How could you not, Pennsylvania, on the mall with a pavilion where America got started, where the arsenal of democracy, where the hallowed fields of Gettysburg. Pennsylvania is American history. So it seemed crazy to me, and we got it done.
Was Senator Fetterman as proud of what you did as you were?
He's very proud of it. Yeah, very proud of it. And he and I took the lead on this one, and he was super supportive. And sometimes he takes the lead on things, and I'm supportive. So, as you know, it's an unlikely partnership, but we found a way to work together for Pennsylvania.
Goal here is we got to go. Goal here is to double the number of private sector defense jobs in Pennsylvania. You're at 190. You want 400. I'll round it up a bit.
Check in a couple of years, buddy.
But I tell you what, based on what I've seen, I think 400,000 is an understatement. So anybody out there, any young person in college thinking about coming to Pennsylvania, getting into the defense industry, this is going to be the place to be, no doubt. Senator, thank you for being with us.
Thanks, John. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
My honor. Thank you. Thank you, Senator. And big shout out to Katie Montgomery. She's done a super job. I don't know how we would have pulled this off, Katie, without you. Thank you, guys. All right. Let's get to I think we're waiting. Do we have the state senator on, Dan? We waiting for that? Let's get to a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code GODZILLA.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code GODZILLA for free activation.
Pennsylvania's big casinos want it all. Your money, your games, your choice. They rake in millions, then lobby Harrisburg to shut down the small businesses that dare to compete. Bars, VFWs, local spots, crushed so the casino giants can get even richer. They want to rig the system against you, but Pesomatic is fighting back. Skill games, fair play, real competition. No monopolies, no backroom deals. Just your right to play and win. Call Harrisburg now. Stand with small business. Stand with Pesomatic. Pesomatic, leveling the playing field. Paid for by Pesomatic.
I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it.
He's your Godzilla of the truth in America. No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, you got him. We are at the Senator Dave McCormick, just heard from at the Pennsylvania Defense Innovation Summit here at the War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. This thing has blown me away. I got to tell you, what did he say, Mike? There were, 1,300 CEOs here? There's 800 or 900. I don't know how many exhibits, like over 1,000 or 8, something like that. The number, the participation he's got here, and he's got a goal in mind. This is why I love McCormick. He's got a goal. He said there's 190,000 defense jobs in Pennsylvania, and he wants to double that to 400 to 380, 400,000. He wants to double the amount of defense jobs. So he brought all these defense industry leaders here, and he wants to make Pennsylvania not only the energy capital of the world, but the defense capital of the world. And Mike Coleman and I, my director of ops, who came up here to help me, we're just blown away by how this guy put this thing together. And he's been a senator for 18 months. Like there's everybody, like every top CEO of every defense manufacturer is here. Every single one of them. And he's got the top brass. He's got all these boots. And then he's got President Trump coming on Wednesday. We've got Joint Chiefs, how do I say that? The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Kane, is coming here today. And it goes on from there. It's got Pete Hegseth is coming. Basically, every single high-level cabinet member, Scott Besson will be here. It's an amazing event that he's put on here at the War College. Very impressive. First time I've been here. Very impressive also. So I want to thank Senator Dave McCormick for that at the Pennsylvania Defense Innovation Summit. It's pretty hot, pretty impressive. And I want to thank one of our sponsors who's on here now, Pennsylvania State Senator Jared Coleman, representing Pennsylvania's 16th district. And he's serving Lehigh and Bucks counties because that's where our radio stations are. Yay. So good choice there. That's his district. And listen, there's no doubt the Pennsylvania Republicans, they're at risk of losing the Republican majority in the Pennsylvania State Senate, which would certainly put Pennsylvania in the California, New Jersey, Virginia camp. Can't do that. And we've got to help stop that. In order to do that, we need to help freedom fighters like Senator Coleman get reelected. You hear him on the Pennsylvania Posse every week, 9 to 10 a.m. on Monday. You know what he stands for. He's fighter. He's a fighter for you. More information, you want to go to, let's see, I got to get this right to get your website right. Mr. Coleman goes to Harrisburg.com, which is one of my favorite website URLs ever. Mr. Coleman goes to Harrisburg.com. Mr. Coleman goes to Harrisburg.com, and you can make a contribution there so that we can keep fighting. Then he can keep fighting. You can also sign up for his newsletter at senatorcoleman.com/e-newsletters, which I did. So you can do that. But I love his website, Mr. Coleman goes to Harrisburg.com. So fun. And joining us now by phone, we've got him on, Senator Jared Coleman. Senator, thanks for being with us.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, this thing is unbelievable. And I think we're going to get some, the way McCormick was laying it out, a lot of these jobs he's trying to get, they're going to come right to the 16th district, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we know, as I think was said, Pennsylvania is home to was almost 200,000 defense jobs.
Right.
So obviously, we have Mack truck. We have building Mack trucks with Volvo there doing defense jobs for the trucks. We have helicopters, and then of course we have a lot of gun manufacturers, weapon systems. So great state to support the country.
Jared, we do a lot of talking about Congress and the 4 seats that are vulnerable here, and of course now we're here with the U.S. Senator. What we don't do a lot of talking about is the state house, the state Senate in Pennsylvania, which is up this year, and you guys have a slim majority. You're going to lose. I assume you're going to lose Mastriano, assuming he gets confirmed in September to go to Slovenia, I think, as ambassador. So you're going to lose that seat. Got to get him replaced. We don't know if he's going to get confirmed or not. But you guys are hanging by a thread there. Your own seat is vulnerable. How do you guys win? What do you guys need to do to hold the Senate?
Yeah, I mean, look, right now, as you said, the Senate majority, we keep about a 3-seat majority in the Senate right now. That the Pennsylvania House of Representatives has a Democrat majority, and of course, we have the pretty extreme governor, Governor Josh Shapiro, liberal Democrat in the governor's mansion. So, if the Democrats were to take control of the state Senate, it would push Pennsylvania to California, New Jersey, New York territory, and it's not a matter of if, of course, as you've said, it's just a matter of when. And as we know, the governor has ambitions that include the only Pennsylvania that Josh Shapiro really cares about is Pennsylvania Avenue. So we know he would be doing some pretty large ticket items for the socialist Democrat policies, including sweeping election reforms, probably try to get rid of, force everyone into mail-in ballots. Of course, we would have issues with, we'll be dealing with abortion issues, probably live birth abortions, and specifically to our Second Amendment rights here in Pennsylvania will all be under attack. I think the State House, almost 100 different times, they've tried to pass legislation that would cripple our Second Amendment rights here in Pennsylvania. So that's just not an option. That's why we have to keep trying to bring sanity back to the discussion here in Pennsylvania, and that's why it's so important that we try to keep our Republican majority in the Senate. We do hope that we can take back the control of the Pennsylvania House. There's so much dysfunction in the state right now. We have a great governor candidate, Stacey Garrity, running Republican for governor, and so that would be great to get her elected as well. I mean, most recently, I think we just talked about at the fair down in D.C., the World Fair, Governor Shapiro decided he wasn't going to be supporting that event, and when he stepped out of the way, all of a sudden Pennsylvania became number one. So, I think that's a metaphor for what Pennsylvania could be if he just gets out of the way. So, and I think that was a testament to Senator McCormick's work on that as well, and the congressman that helped to get all of our businesses there and take first place at the World Fair. So that's all great. But to your point, we focus on things that people care about in Pennsylvania, which is jobs. They care about public safety. They care about affordability has become an issue, but dealing with affordability through ways that actually make sense. And it's not just giving people, not just making sure that we solve it in a way that makes sense. So making sure that we keep our taxes low, making sure that we have good jobs. All of those things tackle affordability, and also keeping our community safe. One of the district attorneys down in Philadelphia, Krasner, who wasn't even prosecuting crime. We have to do things to keep law and order throughout the state. And so those are all things that, are part of our policy agendas here. Education, Pennsylvania is one of the highest spenders in education, yet we rank, right towards the bottom of the pack in educational opportunities for kids. We need to do better. And those are all things that Stacey Garrity's focused on with her campaign for governor. And hopefully the president comes to town as he's planning to tomorrow, I think. And keep getting him coming to town because people are really seeing all the work that they've been doing and how that's impacting Pennsylvanians.
We're with Pennsylvania State Senator Jared Coleman. He represents the 16th district that's serving Lehigh and Bucks counties. We have a bunch of I think that's where our main station is there. So I want to thank him for joining us. And so, Jared, for our national audience, just to frame this, so let's start with the state senate. All you guys are up in 2026, so you're all up in November. So frame this for us. How many state senate seats? How many state senators are there? What is our majority? And then the seat that we lost in the special that really infuriated me. How do we win that back? Just kind of give us a framework for the whole thing.
Yeah, so Pennsylvania, the state senate in Pennsylvania, for those that maybe have a different setup in their state senate in Pennsylvania, is 50 senators, and half the Senate is up every 4 years. It's a 4-year term. Half the Senate is up every 4 years. So this year we have half of our senators are up. The even district senators are up this year, and then the odd numbered senators will be up in 2 years from now. They're each 4-year terms, and right now we have a 3-seat majority in the Senate. As you mentioned, we have, and of course, if we are tied, the governor, lieutenant governor, who is the presiding officer of the Senate, Austin Davis is a Democrat, part of the Shapiro administration. He obviously would break the ties in the way of the Democrats. So, 3-seat majority right now. As you mentioned, we had a stronger majority. We did have a stronger majority. There was a senator from in the I think you mentioned in the Lancaster area, that Lancaster York area where Lancaster area where he lost his. I think that was actually Senator Aument had resigned. He was a Republican senator and went to run Dave McCormick's statewide operation. Of course, doing a great job with Dave, also great senator when he was with us. That seat, we didn't really have a unified approach to filling that seat, and ultimately a Democrat was able to win that seat, and that's Democrat James Malone, who has not really voted with us. Of course, he's a Democrat, so not voting with us, and not really, I don't think, doing a great job representing his constituents. So now we have a good candidate there. It's current state representative Tom Jones, and he would be a great state senator, and everyone's kind of pulling for him. And the way that he gets elected again is folks turn out, right? I mean, that's the issue. If people stay home, there's a real chance that Republicans don't get reelected here.
Lancaster's a Republican seat. Trump won the district by 15. We lost that seat, took our eye off the ball. I was very disappointed in the apparatus that was on the ground there, because I spent on the bus tour for the Trump campaign. We spent 2 months there. I started Labor Day, got done the night of the election. So we crisscrossed the state, and they had no ground game. They didn't focus on mail-in ballots. They didn't focus on early voting, and we lost a Trump plus 15 district. I would suspect you get that back. You should win that back. It's a Republican district. If we can get some form of a ground game going, are there other seat pickups you have, or are you guys in only defense mode for that?
Yeah, I mean, look, we are looking at adding some seats. We're looking at right now a seat in Allentown that's held by Democrat Nick Miller. We're looking to pick up that seat as well. Allentown turned out, the Lehigh Valley turned out for President Trump when he was getting reelected here. And so if he comes back again, I believe that he'll help get a candidate. We have a candidate, only Maldonado. He's a Marine, works now. He has his MBA, and family man running against an incumbent Democrat in Allentown, Nick Miller. So that would be great. We could potentially pick up that seat there, as we see that a lot of the interests that the current Democrat senator represents don't really represent the values of Allentown there. So we're optimistic that we can pick up that seat, and that would get us another seat. And we'd like to come back with as much of a Republican majority as we can, of course. But certainly the threat is if people don't turn out in the fall and the state Senate falls, we will have huge problems for decades to come here in Pennsylvania.
We got to get our voters out. And not only you have the state Senate, which you're trying to hold, you've got these 4 congressional seats that Democrats are targeting. We have to hold. I think we hold all 4, but that's going to be tough. That's why President Trump's going to be here a lot. It's going to help you guys get over to the House. We got a 1 seat, 2 seat deficit in the House. What's the deal there?
Yeah, so we're sitting at, it was a 2-seat deficit over there in the House. I think there's been another resignation by another Democrat. I think they've sat all of those replacements in the House, but that's always in limbo as well. And it just depends. It's all a turnout game. We were talking about, some races can be within 1,000, 2,000 votes, and we saw turnout when President Trump was reelected. Of course, that would. I think we're at 30. We needed to get 33%. I think we were saying to get him reelected, 33% turnout, and of course we came out above that, and the rest is history. So, if people do show up, of course that's going to be the key to victory. And for folks to vote anyway, they really can. That's the most important thing: is vote by whatever means you're comfortable voting with. At the end of the day, if you don't vote, your vote can't be counted. So, make sure folks get out there to vote
and vote early, because you got to vote early. If you wait,
John, you don't know what's going to happen, right?
I've
you don't know
been
the weather.
This forever. You can't give the Democrats a month and we get 12 hours. You're going to lose every single time. Yeah. Our early vote has got to be about 35% to win. We've been fighting this battle. We got it for Trump. When the Pennsylvania elections come, vote early, get your vote banked, get it in. It saves us money. We don't have to mine you. We don't have to call you. We don't have to put somebody at your door. We know your vote is in. It's party registration. We don't have to worry about it. And then you don't have to worry about your car breaks down, your kid gets sick, soccer practice goes over, baseball practice, football, whatever's going on, your job, you're out of town, all that goes away. Your vote is in. And we need to bank those votes. And look, if you want to vote by mail, when I was in Pennsylvania, I voted by mail, right? And it's a secure system. It's not like Washington, D.C., where I can pick a ballot up at a Starbucks. I mean, Pennsylvania, you've got to apply for the mail-in ballot. You've got to send a picture of your ID. I mean, it's an arduous process, but you want to vote by mail. It's secure. Either way, you got to get your vote in early. That's the
whichever. Like again, if you don't vote, then if you don't make an effort to vote and you don't, whichever method you should vote, whichever method you're most comfortable voting. You want to go to day of, go of. You want to go in person early, you can do that too. Of course, if you want to vote by mail, do whatever you want to do. Just make sure that you vote, because it's going to be an awfully bad morning, early November, to wake up the day after the election and realize now we have a Democrat trifecta in Pennsylvania. And that when we're talking about, my opponent in this state Senate's talking about a personal family wealth tax. So he wants not only, all of the already taxes that are already up to our eyeballs in, but also wants to put a family tax, a wealth tax as they call it, but it's really a family tax. He wants to tax your 529, your kids' 529s. He wants to tax your HSAs. He wants to tax your stocks and your bonds, and essentially your family savings. And that's where we're headed, folks. You can't make this up. And also, they're proud to be endorsed by Bernie Sanders. I mean, you just can't. They've gotten so far from moderate here that it's just, to brag about being endorsed by Bernie Sanders, it's just unbelievable. We got to do everything we can to keep people turning out and make sure that we stay in this fight.
Yeah, you mentioned California and New Jersey. You're really going to end up like Virginia. I mean, that's what's going to happen. And they ran out of affordability, and now everything there is so expensive. People are getting out of the state. I mean, or the Commonwealth. That's going to be how bad it is. Tell me about this scam budget that Shapiro has, where they basically don't pay their bills. Like, this would be like, I run a business. This would be like saying, okay, hey, we were profitable in July and August because we had a cash flow profit because we didn't pay any of our bills in July and August. we put everybody in 60 days. So therefore, we were profitable.
Yeah.
You're profitable in July and August, but you didn't pay your bills for 60 days. Every vendor you didn't pay. Every bill, electric bill, tower bill, leases, you didn't pay anything. And so you say you're profitable, but you're not. You lost all this money and you just put everything off for 60 days, which eventually you go bankrupt when you do that. So that was his scam budget. What do you think? We're idiots?
Yeah, I mean, it's just of course I didn't vote for it. I couldn't support that. I don't really want to play that charade or play that game. But I mean, what happened here was in the state budget that was just passed, 3 days ago. We came back and passed it 2 days ago. It's just deceptive. So what happened was, in an effort to not make it seem like we're not digging into our savings account, to be able to tout all of these top line talking points, we essentially decided that we weren't going to pay all of our bills for 2 months of the year. So essentially we're going to, for our Medicaid payments, the portion for our payments from the state, we're only going to make 10 payments. So we're going to skip 2 payments and bragging that this is cutting spending. I mean, it's exactly right. Not saying we're saving money by not paying our bills is not an honest discussion for Pennsylvania. And it's just not right. What the honest discussion should have been, we have spent way too much. We only make $48 billion in revenue a year. $48 billion is what we bring in. And now we're planning to spend almost 52. When you take away the charade, we're spending close to $54 billion, which is almost $6 billion more than we break in. Completely irresponsible, and will cause our rainy day fund, our state savings account, to be brought to zero, which then will need a huge income tax hike to address, which is, again, we shouldn't be spending, just like Pennsylvania shouldn't spend more than we make. Obviously, the state shouldn't be doing that. And unfortunately, telling folks that we have a responsible budget but then not telling them that we're not paying all of our bills on time and essentially aging invoices is just not responsible.
Well,
it's a bit deceptive.
Not only is it irresponsible and deceptive, like, people depend on those invoices for their companies and their jobs. I mean, that's the other thing.
Right.
I mean, if you run a small business and you're doing business with the state, I just want everybody to grasp what Shapiro's done, because it's really criminal behavior, right? So you depend, like, we're a small company, right? We send you an invoice for advertising. We budget that in for July. Well, if you say, well, I'm not going to pay you that until September, well, okay, well, what happens in August? We're depending on that money. So now we got to not pay. Then we got to not pay somebody. I mean, this is how it rolls downhill. So now we don't pay somebody. So we don't pay a vendor that's, I don't know, let's say, one of our engineers, right? Well, we can't pay them because our advertisers put our bill off for 60-day aging. So now we can't pay one of our engineers in, I don't know, pick somewhere, Wilmington. Well, that guy's depending on that, whatever it is, $1,500 bill. Well, he's depending on that in August to feed his family. And so we got to say, well, we don't have it. We got to put you off for 60 days. Well, then, he can't pay his mortgage. I mean, it's insane way to run a state, dude. It's just, the guy is it's beyond comprehension. Like, they don't even understand how business works, Jared. It's sad.
Yeah. Well, or they'll try to tell me, we don't, businesses do this. And it's like, yeah, business does it because if they don't have money. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You're not going to, you shouldn't rip off your vendors. And it's just not a smart thing, wise thing for us to be doing. We should be having an anonymous conversation with Pennsylvania. We should be talking to them about why we're in this situation, where we have to go into our savings account. We're there because we've spent too much, and instead we're just kicking this can down the road, which is not good. And so, we need to keep fighting for, to bring change here. And that's, of course, if that's kind of the whole threat here. Is this is not responsible? And again, our education spending right now, sending more money to schools that have continually be underperforming. We want those kids to do well, but again, I think we spoke about this before, but in some districts, for example, we're sending, over the past 10 years, we've sent over $100 million in additional funding, and the performance keeps getting worse. I mean, it's not even turning, John. Like, we want the children to do well. Kids need to do well. but we can't just keep throwing money at the problem and expecting all of a sudden there to be a change in performance. Like, we just haven't seen that. So we need to do something different. And the idea that we're just going to throw more and more money at the problem, it's not working, and it's not honest. We need to empower parents, to let kids get out of these failing schools and to go to schools that better fit their needs. That's why hopefully we can take advantage of the President Trump school choice program. We could also implement it here in the state further. And that would really give kids the best let parents who know best for their kids where they should go to school. Don't keep kids in failing schools. It's not fair for kids, and it's quite honestly not fair for taxpayers either.
Jared Coleman, I want to thank you for being with us. You're 100% correct. Pennsylvania State Senator Jared Coleman, Pennsylvania's 16th District. More information and to donate to his campaign, because he's in a fight with a communist, go to Mr. Coleman goes to Harrisburg.com. Mr. M.R. Mr. Coleman goes to Harrisburg.com. You can make a contribution there, learn more. Sign up for his newsletter like I did, senatorcoleman.com/e-newsletters, senatorcoleman.com/e-newsletters. Senator, thanks for being with us today. Thanks for that insight.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Live Work College. Hey, West Virginia, my gang in West Virginia's next.
Down Russian ballistic missiles. An ICE agent fatally shot a motorist in Biddeford, Maine.
Maine Senator Angus King, an independent, says Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wade Mullen told him the agent opened fire in Biddeford after the man tried to use his vehicle as a weapon against agents who were pursuing him for deportation. Apparently, the ICE agents didn't have body-worn cameras. Two immigrant rights groups ID'd the victim as a 26-year-old Colombian with a family authorized to work in the U.S. who had a Social Security number and was on his way to work when he was shot. The FBI is investigating. I'm Julie Walker.
More on these stories from townhall.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
Investigative journalist Nick Shirley has released a video claiming more than $190 million in Medicare fraud involving senior centers serving elderly Korean and Chinese residents in New York.
Shirley alleges fraud involving billing for thousands of phantom patients in adult daycare scams funded by taxpayer dollars. In the video, Shirley confronts employees who deny inflated membership numbers. Supporters of the investigation say the findings could point to broader problems in the system.
Fraudsters allegedly provided kickbacks for enrolling elderly in activities like ping pong and tai chi while pocketing funds. The Trump administration is cracking down on banks lending to people living in the U.S. illegally. Financial regulators plan to issue guidance reminding banks of their Know Your Customer requirements. News at townhall.com. Depending on who you talk to, there are literally scores of different theories and possible ideas and eventual outcomes when it comes to the future of artificial intelligence. At the same time, hundreds of economists and other experts are sounding the alarm.
Hundreds of economists are urging immediate action to address how artificial intelligence could transform the economy while putting many people out of work, saying AI could become radically more powerful over the next 10 years. The Stanford lab says the letter has so far been signed by more than 200 economists and AI researchers, including 16 Nobel Prize winners. The letter compares the AI transformation to the Industrial Revolution, but on a much shorter clear timeline and calls for leaders to create incentives and guardrails to ensure that AI complements humans and benefits society. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
People are out there saying, the Iranians are never going to live by it. But let me tell you something. President Trump is going to bomb them again if they screw around.
Hopefully they live up to it. And if not, the pounding's coming. We're going to do it again and again and again.
The Cats and Cosby Show, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Trump is the toughest president we ever had.
Well, he's definitely the best bomber.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Pennsylvania's big casinos want it all. Your money, your games, your choice. They rake in millions, then lobby Harrisburg to shut down the small businesses that dare to compete. Bars, VFWs, local spots, crushed so the casino giants can get even richer. They want to rig the system against you, but Pesomatic is fighting back. Skill games, fair play, real competition. No monopolies, no backroom deals. Just your right to play and win. Call Harrisburg now. Stand with small business. Stand with Pesomatic. Pesomatic, leveling the playing field. Paid for by Pesomatic.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, Sit back and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who always says to lace them up and lace them tight, John Fredericks.
Great to have you on the John Fredericks Media Network. As always, I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America. Great to have you with us. We are live in Carlisle, Pennsylvania at the Army War College in Root Hall. This is the Pennsylvania Defense Innovation Summit. This thing is unbelievable. Dave McCormick, the senator here, has brought in, how many, Mike? 1,300? It's got 1,300 CEOs. Every major CEO of every major defense company is here. They're trying to double the defense jobs in Pennsylvania from 190 to 400,000. And this place is packed. President Trump's going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be breaking in live with him. We've also got the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is going to be with us this afternoon as we break in for that, General Kane. So we got Scott Besson is coming. Pete Hegseth is coming. I think the VA Commander Doug Collins is going to be here. So just a tremendous litany of people in the administration and from around the country as we focus on this defense. And want to thank our sponsors for our show here. We're going to be live here for 2 days. President Trump coming tomorrow. Want to thank Senator Dave McCormick for his sponsor. Want to thank Pace-O-Matic for doing that. And my good friend Mike Barley, thank you for that. Congressman Dan Muser, 9th District Republican Congressman in Pennsylvania. Thank you, Dan, for doing that. And also, you just heard from him, State Senator Jared Coleman, Pennsylvania's 16th District, that's serving Lehigh and Bucks County. So there are featured sponsors for this event. We thank them for that. Quite the event. We need one of these energy conferences in West Virginia because this thing is like huge, and we need to put one of these on. So we'll see what happens there. Speaking of West Virginia, which is, no matter what Pennsylvania says, the energy capital of the globe. That's what I think. West Virginia is sitting on all this energy. They also, it's so funny. They border, like the states border, right? And so, folks, if you don't know, West Virginia, almost everybody in West Virginia wants to be the data center capital of the world. They have the energy, they have the water. They want to be able to do that. Lower taxes, get rid of the income tax. But yet you come here to Pennsylvania, nobody wants a data center. So, hey guys, you got wide open because nobody here wants them. And I know you guys are going to figure this out and get it the right way. So joining us today is this our hour for the Mountaineer Mavericks, and I think we got three of them in. Let's see who we got here. We've got who we got. We got Michael Haidt is back. Thank you for joining us, Michael Haidt. Gino Chiroletti is one of my representatives in the businesses we own in West Virginia is there. And Chris Rose, Senator Chris Rose is here. So from the Fairmont area. So two of the guys that are in my district. Thank you guys for being here. As always, good to have you with us. And let's start with a little football, and then we'll get to energy prices and electric bills. I would start with Chris Rose. So, Chris, we're launching our own 2-hour Mountaineer football pregame show on our stations in West Virginia. It's going to be 2 hours before every game. Now, obviously, you got the big one with Carini and all that, and it's kind of, very buttoned down, top down. Well, we wanted to do a fan-based show for 2 hours. It's ours, so we're not really competing with them. It's going to be different. It's going to be like you're at a tailgate. So we're going to have a 2-hour show. It's going to be fan-based, and we're going to take calls. And Mitch Rogers is going to be our host. He's one of our writers on WVSN, WVSportsNation.com. And I said, hey, I got state senator, played football in college. He wants to come on the show. He wants to be one of your panelists. And everybody jumped on it. So I didn't really confirm that with you before I said that. But now they're excited. So now you kind of boxed in.
Well, it sounds like I just got to step up and deliver, right? And that's all right. It's going to be a good time. And I love the concept of the show. It'll be the first of its kind for the Mountaineer fan base. And I'm very excited to see year 2 of Rich Rodriguez. A lot of people You look at the predictions; they're counting us down and out. But I remember what this gentleman was able to do the first time he was at WVU. I know what he did at Michigan, and I know what he did at Arizona. So don't sleep on Rich Rodriguez. He knows how to build a team. He now has had a full offseason. Last time he didn't. This is year 2 where he's had a full offseason to put that hard edge culture here in West Virginia. And he finally has a full-size offensive line and a full-size defensive line. He was able to hang in a lot of games last year despite not having a power 4-size offensive and defensive line. And now he has a good quarterback competition. So people, I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on the Mountaineers. We will be a Big 12 contender.
There was not a lot. There was a couple games last year we got blown out, right? But we were competitive in a lot of games, and you nailed it, absolutely nailed it. He had almost a 95% brand new roster, brand new roster. He had turned everybody over. He put a new offense in. None of the kids really familiar with it. It took him a year. As each game went on, they beat Pitt. Each game went on, they got more competitive towards the end and started winning some games. And I think they're going to compete in the Big 12. I'm with you. That's why we're excited about it. And we've never had a call-in fan base show where it's about the fans and what they're saying. And so that's our vision for this. And I think you would be a tremendous asset to that. So I'm going to hook you up with Mitch Rogers, who's going to be a host for that, and our writers. It's kind of fun because West Virginia, I'm not, this is a political show, but I'm very excited about what we're doing. You guys can feel my enthusiasm. But WV Sports Nation, which is our news and information sports website for WVU, which is ours. It's WVSportsNation.com. We have an app. Go to the App Store or Google Play. Just put in WV Sports Nation. Comes right up. But we got a bevy of writers. We got young writers. We got some veterans. But, we put up 5-6 articles a day, so it's a lot of stuff there. But those guys that cover football are going to be part of the panel. So, and of course, Mitch is our chief columnist there. All of them are WVU graduates, so they're all fans. And I think that's what's going to make a difference, to get the fans involved, take calls. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and you are going to look forward to it every Saturday, Chris.
Absolutely. I can't wait, John. It's not too far away now, just a couple of weeks.
I know. And then after you're on, then of course Gino's going to want to come on, and Mike Height's going to want to come on. Oliverio is going to want to come on. So, you're going to be the ring leader here. But we're excited about that. Speaking of Gino Chiarelli, Gino, thanks for joining us. And Mike Height. One of the big issues now, affordability in West Virginia, as we get into these elections. A lot of people starting to complain about power bills way up. Like, for instance, just saying, I mean, we got a Mod power bill. I guess it's been hot there. I don't know what it is, one of our stations or transmitters somewhere. And that thing was triple what it normally is. It was $1,500. Normally we budgeted $5,000. We're trying to figure out why this thing went up $1,000. What are we going to do here for people that are just getting killed in West Virginia with electric utility bills going up? Start with Gino.
Okay, so this is the perfect question to ask me, believe it or not, because I just sent a semi-open letter to First Energy asking them, First Energy leadership, to do a formal assessment of the infrastructure that's in our area. Because one thing that I've noticed over the past couple of years, and I've heard it from a number of constituents as well, is that it seems like the grid is a lot less reliable. People are having their power go out during peak times for extended periods of time that are totally unacceptable. Over holidays, this last one, July 4th, people in my area went without power for 2.5 days, which is totally, we can't have that going forward. If we want people to move to West Virginia, we need them to be able to rely on the grid. So I sent them a letter saying at the request of constituents, we've noticed this over time, and I think that maybe there's a problem that we could possibly identify. How can I assist you? It wasn't anything accusatory. I wasn't trying to be inflammatory, because First Energy has always had an open line of communication with me. I'm hoping we can turn that into something productive. But I think at the very least, when it comes to my area, other areas in the state may have different challenges, but with here, I think an infrastructure assessment may help us in the long run to figure out what's going on. Why is the power not the way it was? And why are people's bills getting so high?
I mean, why is it so expensive? I mean, we you budget like a company, and I forget the exact location, but it was in Mon County. I know that it was Mon Power, And I remember Ann saying, "Yeah, I just got this bill for $1,500. Like, what the hell's going on in there? Normally it's like $550. How's it go up $1,000? Like, what's that about? So why is it so high? Why are people? Because like we didn't budget that. We're a small company, but people just paying their regular household power bills. If your power bill triples, you can't pay it, Gino.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, I think First Energy applied for another rate increase this past May. So I think one of the things that's been contributing to this is the loss of ratepayers over time. People leaving West Virginia, the cost to distribute the power company, the cost to distribute the power to the power company remains relatively the same, but it's distributed among fewer ratepayers. So I think that as we look at the big picture, when we talk about things that can fix West Virginia in the long run, strengthening our economy, fixing the demographic crisis that we're facing, continue to bring people here. And this is another thing that leads into data center conversation. Hate to bring those up already, but one of the pros I think that when it comes to data centers is data center being a massive power user will replace a lot of those lost ratepayers over time. So when all of a sudden you bring in this big power consumption, it's like you're bringing in a bunch of people and ratepayers back. Well, costs can potentially go down. That's not the case for everywhere in the country. I could see why people would be opposed to it in certain areas for that reason. But in West Virginia, when it comes to power usage, it makes sense here because it could potentially lower people's power bills. I think the CEO of AEP in the southern part of the state said that it would lower people's power bills if there was a data center to host.
Mike Hite, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I think Gino hit the nail on the head. It's a shame that our rates are not based on our distance from the power source itself, because then West Virginians would pay a whole lot less, and it would be the people in Northern Virginia who refuse to have any baseload power, new power plants built, that they want to do all green energy, and then they just want to import their power from West Virginia. And then we end up paying for the infrastructure that it takes to go for their insatiable power needs, and their refusal to build their own power plants. So West Virginians end up paying the cost for the power going everywhere else. And I think we have like a 13 state grid that we feed into, and, good for West Virginia. It's coal, it's gas, and those things that power all these power plants, and we get to export it, but the people themselves don't benefit from it. So, like I said, it would be nice if it was based on your distance from a power plant.
So, Chris Rose, I mean, is what Gino said true, Senator? They applied for First Energy applied for another rate increase based on people moving out. How's that work?
So they didn't, in their rate case, they didn't exactly use those words, but First Energy or Mon Power has put in 1, AEP has put in 3. Both of these gentlemen have touched on points that I want to talk about. One, West Virginia has had a population decline over the last 50 years, and that fixed cost does get spread across less customers. And two, to what Delegate Hyde is saying with the PJM, we're outnumbered in the PJM for conservative states versus liberal states, but yet West Virginia and Kentucky are what keeps the lights on within the PJM. But yet you have states like Virginia and Maryland and Delaware and New Jersey telling us what we can generate because the PJM votes as a collective.
What is the PJM for our national audience? What is PJM?
So the PJM is a regional grid in the Northeast that West Virginia is consisted of 13 states. It's called a regional transmission operator, or an RTO. And West Virginia sells power out to these 13 states to stabilize its grid. And while West Virginia does need to export power for sale because we are an energy state, I do believe that states like West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio need to form a generators co-op. And we need to set guidelines to tell these RTOs, listen, we have the megawatts. You need the megawatts. You no longer get to tell us we can't use fossil fuels. You don't get to force us to subsidize your failed renewables. We want to be merit-based energy. It should be a supply and demand. You need megawatts. You don't get to tell us how we generate it. And that's another way how we fight this, because West Virginia used to have the second cheapest electric rates in the country, John. The second. In 2008, what happened? Barack Obama got elected. A war on coal started, which has evolved into a war on fossil fuels. And I know you're up to U.S. Senator Dave McCormick. He could attest to that with fighting for natural gas as well. And we have natural gas that we're unleashing here in West Virginia. And we went from the second cheapest to middle in the nation due to that war on fossil fuel. We've been subsidizing renewables in the PJM and other RTOs for far too long. And Virginia, they're begging for power. No, we don't want those data centers over in Virginia. We don't want to let Virginia appear to be green and then build transmission lines across us, make us pay for it. We want those data centers right here. And we believe in transmission infrastructure when it makes sense. But if these other states don't want to embrace merit-based energy and fossil fuels, then why should we keep their lights on at our own expense?
I mean, Gino, what Senator Chris Rose said makes sense. How does anybody argue with that?
I don't think anybody really can. I think that the interconnectedness of the PJM, I think that we're kind of at a disadvantage here, especially when you look at some of the other people that are in the actual grid with us. If you look at Loudoun County, I think that their peak demand is expected to hit 50 gigawatts. Loudoun County alone is expected to hit 50 gigawatts by 2030. And then there's West Virginia that kind of has to bear the brunt of a lot of that. But that's why the senator is chair of Senate Energy, because I think he's got a good handle on these kind of things. But when it comes to our level of agreement, we all are all of one accord when it comes to this. I think the big problem comes with FERC and PJM and us being on a level playing field with the other states in the grid.
When you guys talk about data centers, every single representative I get on in the state house communities of all these states we cover, nobody wants them but you. I mean, and actually, it's a political battleground issue. Like people are actually winning primaries by saying, I'm going to keep data centers out, where you guys are embracing it. Why don't you get all of them? I mean, why would anybody want to go to a state that they don't want them there?
Well, I'll say they're not exactly popular here with the people either. There's a lot of people that everybody wants to be able to do their banking on their phone, but nobody wants a data center. And they certainly don't want them in their backyards. And that's right. What you run into. Now, I think the legislation of West Virginia recognizes the benefits of having data centers here. We have everything that data centers need. And we don't want to export the power and the water and everything somewhere else and allow them to benefit from having data centers. We want to move them here and benefit from them as well. And they can be located in places in West Virginia that are not going to affect the beauty or anything else in West Virginia. So I think it's just educating, our electorate that this is what we need and it's not going to hurt us.
Let's get back to what Gino said earlier. He sent this letter to First Energy, which is, Mon Power that we deal with. Is the governor Morrissey involved in any of this? Does he have a commission on it? What is it? Have you talked to him at all on this issue, Gino?
No, I haven't spoken to the governor on this. I sent the letter 5 days ago. It was purely my decision to make. It was just from the feedback that I was getting from my direct constituents, not just from people around the state. It was people that I know for a fact live in my district, whether it's Grafton Road, Summer School Road, doesn't matter. It's my area. My people are telling me that they haven't had power for 2.5 days. Well, I can't wave a magic wand and fix anything, but what I can try to do in the off season is make it as productive as I possibly can, get as much information as I can. Maybe we get some information from First Energy. Maybe we start coming up with some sort of work group. We figure out maybe there's a legislative solution. Maybe we can reconvene in January during the session and we can figure out what's going on. Maybe it's something on their end that they're able to identify that I was just able to help push them to figure out. First Energy has been very responsive. They have confirmed that they have received the letter. I'm awaiting a formal response.
So who does it go to? What's the apparatus there? You got like a community director, you got a spokesperson. Like, how does that make its way up into some kind of a result and a response?
So I penned the letter to open-endedly, Dear First Energy leadership, but I got it to their legislative liaison directly. She confirmed that she did receive it, and she says that she'll be in touch with me. She's been very good with me before. I have nothing bad to say about her. She's had a very easy to communicate with, always takes my calls, especially when people are having power outages and stuff. So I have faith in her that she's going to get this to the people that it needs to be, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing back what First Energy has to say, because I'm hoping for a productive conversation again. I don't want to point fingers and tell anybody, hey, this is your fault, this is what you're doing. Let's figure out what's going on. Maybe we can work together.
So let me ask you, this, guys. So the First Energy, is that like a community director? You got a spokesperson. Like, how does that make its way up into some kind of a result and a response?
So I penned the letter to open-endedly, Dear First Energy leadership, but I got it to their legislative liaison directly. She confirmed that she did receive it, and she says that she'll be in touch with me. So
like in Virginia, like Dominion Energy has got a like some public-private partnership where the legislators got to approve their rate increases, but it's a private company, and everybody's always complaining about the money they make and that people are getting screwed. I mean, it's just part of it. Is that the same setup you guys have with First Energy there?
We have the utility rate increases in West Virginia are controlled by the PSC, correct, Chris? Correct?
That's correct. So our Public Service Commission, which consists of 3 people appointed by the governor, will be the ones that review these cases and be the ones that make the ultimate decision. And so how this works in West Virginia, we have a regulated electric utility market here. And there's 3 co-ops, but 2 of them are owned by First Energy. So Mon Power and Potomac Edison, which is Eastern Panhandle, the Mon Power over here where we live in north central West Virginia, those are owned by First Energy, which is based out of Akron. And then you have Appalachia Power, and then down in the southern part of the state, which is owned by AEP. Then there is a small sliver in the northern Panhandle, which is Wheeling Power Company, which is also owned by AEP, which is more connected to their Ohio grid. And so that is how the lay of the land is here as far as electric companies. There's only 2. There is only 2 as far as that goes. There's a couple merchant plants that are not owned by those that generate onto the grid. But as far as the grid's concerned, there's just 2 power companies here. And to what Gino exactly said, the legislature does not vote on the rate increases. It is the Public Service Commission, and that was created some time ago.
All right, so you got 3 public service commissioners. They're not elected. They're appointed by the governor, and they're going to decide on these rate increases that affect everybody. And where does Hope Gas fit into this?
So it's very similar also for your gas utilities and water utilities. All those rate increases as well are determined. They apply for the rate increases with the Public Service Commission. So like all my stuff is with Hope Gas, and we never get an increase. Like, why do we never get an increase from Hope Gas, but now we're paying triple from Mon Power? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. Well, the good news for Hope Gas is they don't have liberal states in the PJM telling them what they can and can't generate, and they're in the business of reliable, merit-based product, while here in West Virginia, we're fighting against liberal states to try to create reliable electricity with our coal and our natural gas. Dan Hobgood, take that last statement that Rose just made about why we don't get increases from Hope Gas, but we do get them from Mon Power. Cut that up and send it to me. That you just answered my question, right? Because they're not controlled by 13 states that are screwing us. They're independent. And so I never get a rate increase. That's why I love Hope Gas. They're great people. We'll be right back.
The morning walk. I pray for those who cannot walk because of age, injury, or disability. Throughout the rest of the day, I am grateful for the people God has placed in my life. I thank Him for those who love me, and I pray especially for those who do not love me. Find ways in your day to thank God continually and offer prayers for all those the good Lord has placed in your daily path. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on 2 huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Soul Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Soul Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Soul Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
Pennsylvania's big casinos want it all. Your money, your games, your choice. They rake in millions, then lobby Harrisburg to shut down the small businesses that dare to compete. Bars, VFWs, local spots, crushed so the casino giants can get even richer. They want to rig the system against you, but Pesomatic is fighting back. Skill games, fair play, real competition. No monopolies, no backroom deals. Just your right to play and win. Call Harrisburg now. Stand with small business. Stand with Pesomatic. Pesomatic, leveling the playing field. Paid for by Pesomatic.
If you want to go after an athlete, one of my athletes, you go after one that doesn't do the right things. You don't downgrade him because he does everything right and may not play as well on Saturday, and you let us make that decision. That's why I don't read the newspaper, because it's garbage, and the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth!
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Oh my goodness. Every time I hear that clip, Dan, I'm 40. Oh God, I'm 68. What does that make me? What does that make me, Coleman?
Makes you 28. You're a man plus 28. I'm a man plus 6.
That and the coach, the former coach before Deion Sanders of Colorado, when he said, "What is this, intramurals?" Oh my God, some of these clips, we got to find more. There's a couple of them out there floating around that we got to get. We got to get back to the West Virginia crew. Anyway, but where's the one in the Turtles? You have that one?
Yeah, I can bring that up real fast. Yeah, because it's pretty funny. It's short and it's funny. Hold on, let me see if I can grab it real fast.
Guys, bear with me.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're great zombie. And
oh God, guys, I got to play that. That is hilarious. And I play it because my son pitches for Maryland. He was out this season, but he's got 2 more years. But whenever we got guys on base, they play that over the PA. I love turtles. It's absolutely hilarious. I love turtles. So if you're a Terp, once a Terp, always a Terp, I guess. We love Terp. Well, you also love Mountaineers. So, all right. So, Gino, are you going to get a response? Like, are they going to send you a form? Send you back a form letter said your request is under review? What the hell?
Well, let's hope that's not the case, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that I'm gonna have something that I could work with, at least I hope, because I have a lot of angry ratepayers in my district. I have a lot of people that spent their 4th of July weekend in the complete dark. I had people that spent their July 5th and 6th throwing away things from their chest freezer in their garage. So again, I've only had positive interactions with First Energy up until this point. They've been very responsive with me. I'm hoping that I just don't get a point, click, generate, whatever. Thank you for your submission. But the ball is really in their court, how they want to proceed with this.
Chris, should the 3 people on the Public Service Commission be elected or appointed? What do you think?
So my concern, if you were to make them an elected position, is who has the money to get people that they want elected? Would it be the blue collar, everyday West Virginian, or would it be Mon Power and AEP? And I'll even tell you, I've actually had this discussion with people who work in the electric utility industry, and they laughed and said, "I'm your Huckleberry. I dare you to make it an elected position," because they admitted to me that they'll just buy the seats and just get rubber stamping rate increases. And they were just brutally honest. If you do that, we'll just control the Public Service Commission.
You know what? What do you think about what he said there, Mike Height?
Well, I think he's absolutely right. Most of the time, I'm in favor of elected positions, but I think you have to make sure that the people that sit on this commission have an understanding and an in-depth understanding of what's going on, and the power generation as a whole, or gas or whatever it is with the PSC. So they have to have an understanding of the infrastructure. And I don't know that you can just elect people to that and just have some everyday person on a commission like that. So I am in favor of the governor appointing those positions. I want them to be not long-term and not like something like the Department of Education or the Board of Education where they're 9-year terms. I would much rather see them, I think they're 3 or 4. Are they, Chris?
So they're 4-year terms.
4-year terms.
Yeah, but so at the end of the day, I mean, the governor is going to be accountable then because it's his commissioners that he's appointing. So if they're approving, rate increases, I mean, I went through this in Georgia. We own a station in Atlanta, and all of our Republican PSC representatives that were there a long time, really good people, I know them, they all got crushed in whatever that election cycle is in the spring or something. The guys that have been there like 3 terms got beat because they signed off on rate increases for Georgia Power, and they all got crushed. So, at the end of the day, look, Morrissey's going to have to stave off. I mean, this is real, guys. Patrick is going to have to stave off a very tough primary campaign against Jim Justice. And if rates are going up, Justice is going to blame him. So, and he starts as an underdog. So this is like a real issue, a real political issue. Morrissey has got to figure this out. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but I mean, right now, if you had to bet, if you went to Polymarket on this, Justice is like a 5-1 favorite to knock him out. So I don't know what's going to happen, but doesn't he have to be involved in this?
Well, I think the primary is going to be a whole lot more than that. If you look how it's shaping up, it looks like there may be some other contenders in there, a possible Chris Warner in there, a possible J.B. McCuskey in there, a possible Larry Pack in there. So I think Justice will determine a lot of who gets in the race and who stays out. But it could shape up to be much like it was last time, where you have 4 or 5 individuals all vying for that position.
If you have that, Morrissey gets renominated. I mean,
I think you're correct.
This is the thing about Morrissey, and I'm just getting into politics now. Then we'll go back to sports, which is more fun. So his 35% is a rock. Like, it ain't going down. I mean, his supporters like me, like, I'm a supporter of Patrick Morrissey, period. You're not going to move me. I don't care who gets in the race. I love Larry Pack, whatever. I'll vote for him the next time. But, like, I'm an immovable object for Patrick Morrissey. But it doesn't grow. That's the problem. You got 35%. It's like you're banging over the head. It's still there. You can't break it up. But then you don't grow it. So that's the problem. I don't know how he wins if it's just him and Justice. I mean, I think we're in big trouble.
I think split race is the best case scenario for Patrick. As I've said before, Patrick has highest floor, lowest ceiling, that 35. I mean, Patrick could only go down going up doesn't seem like it's possible for him given his past elections. So I think if Jim Justice comes in, I think he'll clear the field. I think that anybody serious that wants to try and be governor eventually, whether it's Larry, whether it's Chris Warner, whether it's JB McCuskey, they're going to understand that for as long as Jim Justice is breathing, he's going to be the king of West Virginia if he wants it to be. The Greenbrier stuff doesn't matter. All of the, I've been repoed just like you. None of that. I don't think that any of that stuff matters. I think if it's Jim Justice versus Patrick, I'd bet the house on Jim.
Well, me too. And I'm a Morrissey guy. But, I think it's going to, and I'll fight hard. But Justice one-on-one, you're just not going to beat him. And I agree with you. The Greenbrier thing doesn't matter. I mean, average West Virginians don't go there. It's too expensive. I mean, we go on an annual basis for the Chamber of Commerce thing. That's it. I can't afford, $500 a day or whatever it is there. So I just can't do it. So the average people are like, nice casino, whatever, right? I mean, they don't care. And so a lot of people in West Virginia have been through tough times, and the guy relates. So we'll have to see what happens on that. Speaking of that, let's get to legalized gambling and the skill games. Where do you guys see this going? Has it generated the revenue you want? I have a handicapping and sports analysis website, GodzillaWins.com. We're involved in it. But what has that done for you guys? And what do you see the future of the other games there by Pace-O-Matic? How does that all work? And somebody jump in.
I think that as of between 2024 and now, I think that it's grown. Revenue's grown by about $2 million. So I think we're approaching almost $10 million in revenue from iGaming. I would say that seems pretty strong to me. We have a pretty strong presence when it comes to lobbying efforts in favor of pro gaming. We don't really have a lot of institutions that I'm aware of that are present in Charleston actively working against it. If anything, it seems like a lot of the disagreement or refusal, rejection of gambling in general comes from within the legislature. We have a lot of elected officials that are very pious, and they believe that it's a moral choice for a lot of legislators. So it seems like that we've been generally supportive of it. We voted on things like that in the past, but to me, I think with reasonable constraint, because we've taken up bills that involve advertising for the LVLs, the limited video lotteries, and that was rejected in the House. So I think that we're trying to find the balance when it comes to gambling, but so far I think that iGaming looks pretty good.
Is the revenue, Chris, is that coming from DraftKings and MGM Athletics gambling, or is it coming from casinos, or a combo?
So it's a combo. So the online gambling, like the DraftKings or your FanDuel, is a little bit new to West Virginia. It's just a couple years old. We've had revenue streams from our LVLs that Gino mentioned for a very long time, but both of them, they're a bulk of what you see as far as our road funding. You see they go to our public school funding. So we definitely have seen a shot in the arm. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, I think 125 million new funding for Department of Highways this year. And a lot of that could be due to the growth in DraftKings and online gambling and sports betting. And we continue to see that to grow. And I think that's going to help us repair a lot of our infrastructure here in West Virginia. And what these guys said was accurate. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of pushback other than the personal moral choice. And if someone wants to individually gamble or not, you have some legislators that have some very strong religious beliefs against gambling.
Well, don't gamble.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
I mean,
and to your credit, John, I am the perfect example of that. I personally do not gamble, but I don't care. You have the freedom to. So, I'm the living testament to that.
I mean, look, I get the religious thing, but don't gamble. I mean, if you don't want to do it, don't. I mean, you can't legislate your way out of it. And the thing is, the industry is growing 15% a year. You're not going to stop it. You cannot put the lightning back in the bottle. You simply can't do it. And so, Georgia won't do it, but you look at Georgia, billions of dollars flow out to offshore gaming, which is, suspect, illegal, it's gray, you don't get paid. It's stupid. People take their risk anyway in Georgia because there's no outlet. And so the same thing in Texas. So it makes no sense. I think you guys are doing the right thing. But what about these skill games? This is a big debate in a lot of my states. Pennsylvania now, they outlawed them. Now they're trying to get them legislatively passed because they go into many different things, many small businesses, convenience stores, VFW halls. This is kind of the peso-matic things. Where do you guys stand on that?
I think that I find myself generally supportive of these kinds of things. I mean, I think that there are things that we need to take strong moral stances against. We're Christians, we're Republicans, we're conservatives. That's just what we do. However, I also expect people to have a certain degree of personal responsibility. If you struggle with those kinds of things, that's something that you need to take upon yourself. It's the same thing with alcohol. I expect people to conduct themselves in ways that are appropriate and expected of an adult that's contributing to society. So as we've seen, people love gambling. People love the ability to do it. One of the big gambling adjacent topics that we're trying to deal with right now is we're the only state in the country, I believe, that has greyhound racing. I know that there's some hubbub in DC right now about banning it, which is pretty much a directly targeted attack against West Virginia. Whether I'm for or against greyhound racing, it's a conversation that can still be had, but gambling is always a hot topic. I think about the words of our former judiciary chairman in the House, Tom Fast. He's a circuit judge now. Very, very Christian guy. He would stand up on the floor and he would say, if you want to get a bill passed, just put gambling or booze in it, and then he would vote no on literally all of that stuff. So he was very consistent. I'll give him that. Totally consistent from start to finish.
Dog racing has been around. Dog tracks have been around forever.
I remember my dad when I was young. Okay, my parents were divorced, so my dad on the weekends, what does he do? Takes his kids to the greyhound track in Wheeling on the weekends and would teach us how to bet on dogs. So that's a fond memory that I have. But greyhound's really big. I also know that there are, without getting too deep into the numbers because I don't know them, a lot of the first responder pension funds are tied into revenue that's generated from greyhounds in a lot of these places. So it's not just simply a flip the switch and turn it off. It's really connected.
What's their beef against dog racing?
I think a lot of it stems from the inhumanity of it. I mean, to me, I don't understand why it's not seen the same way on its face as horse racing. It seems like a lot of these people that are heavily involved in the greyhound stuff, the breeders and the keepers, they take very, very good care because they know how highly scrutinized what left of the industry is. So I don't think it says black and white, as issues never are. We all know that. But again, I think that we need to think about this cautiously. I would urge federal representatives to think about this cautiously, and our representatives are doing a great job going to bat for West Virginia. But it's not as easy as pulling the plug.
I got an idea. Why don't they pass the SAVE Act? Why don't they get rid of the filibuster? Why are they involved in dog?
You're asking the hard questions now.
Don't you have something else to do in your life?
So, John, what is sad about this is West Virginia has already passed a version of the SAVE Act already. We have our own now where they have to show their ID. They have to show their driver's license when they go to the voter rolls. So it's no longer just your voter card that has no picture on it. You now have to give your driver's license a physical photo, state government issued ID to vote. And it's sad to say that, we have Republican control here, 90% support, boom, right to the governor's desk, no controversy whatsoever. But then we have Republican controlled U.S. Senate, and they just wait and they kick the can. It's embarrassing because these people don't understand this opportunity we have under President Trump. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to secure our nation's elections. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to usher America into the golden age and get this country back on track. And I just got to call a spade a spade. The U.S. Senate is squandering it.
They ain't going to do crap, dude. I mean, I'm in D.C. I'm 2 blocks from the White House. That's where we live. That's where our studio is. They're not going to do anything. I mean, they do nothing. It's the most unbelievable thing. And Thune and these guys are just waiting Trump out. I'm telling you, they're waiting him out. He's going to go away, and then they can get back to losing, which is what their comfort level is. You guys are winners because you're going to, sweep everything, but they're just loser. I don't know why I'm there. I should retire to West. I keep telling Nan, why don't we just retire when we go there? We could probably buy, when the Greenbrier goes bankrupt, we could probably get one of those houses there for half price. Jim Justice will have a fire sale, right? That's what we should do. But as far as the dog tracks, Like, do something else with you. Look, I'm a former horse trainer, as you guys know. I was in the industry as a young man, and now I'm a racehorse owner. You should see the horses we have. I mean, these you can't take care of. They take care of my horses better than we take care of the family cat. I mean, these things they're in perfect condition. They're loved up all the time. They eat great. They're groomed, and they're bred to race. Like, it's not inhumane. They want to race. That's what they do. That's like what we do. We want to get things done. So it's just nonsense that we're even involved in this. Like, leave your dog tracks alone and go find something meaningful to do.
It makes you wonder why they're discussing something that only affects one state. We're the only state that has dog racing. It makes little to no sense at all for them to be discussing this at the federal level. The 10th Amendment sort of leaves this to the states. They should just leave it alone and let us determine how we're going to handle it ourselves, rather than butting their nose into something that only affects us.
It's unbelievable. I mean, along with that, you've got you guys got me started now on this is like my list of grievances you're getting out. Like, they got my favorite bill of all time in the history of all bills ever in the history of the Republic is the AM radio in every car bill. So obviously I'm in the business, right? And like, it's been in there for 5 years. We've got 70 co-sponsors in the Senate, not 60, 70. We've got like 350 in the House. We can't get the bill. We get it out of committee, and then we can't get the bill to the floor. It just won't go to the floor. Why? Scalise, right? Louisiana gets a boatload of money from GM that's fighting it. And so he sticks the bill in his desk. And until somebody jettisons us out of there, it sits there. You can't get anything passed in the Senate. They never even take anything up. So the bill sits there year 6. I mean, it's just a frustration. They don't do anything. Then you go
That's a frustration for us legislators as well. I don't care whether you're at the state level or the federal level, that 1 or 2 or 3 people can have so much command over a bill, especially a bill that's that popular. It's very frustrating when 1 or 2 people can hold something up, especially when it has such broad support.
It's just wrong. I mean, and there's got to be this whole filibuster thing in the U.S. Senate where one senator can hold up anything, 1 out of 100. I mean, the thing wasn't written that way. I mean, you can't have one person holding up an entire bill that's got 70% of the Senate has signed on to. But that's the way the rules are there. And we just have to see what happens. When do you expect an answer, Gino, from your letter?
Well, if I'm hopeful, I would say it's been 5 days now. I would think 2 weeks is enough time to formulate something. If it goes beyond that, well, can't say I didn't try, I suppose. Well, if they're not willing to work with us on solutions as to why electricity rates are high, why the grid is less reliable in Monongalia County, I'm going to start thinking of solutions. So it's a lot better for them if they're inclined to work with me. But again, I have no problem saying it. They've worked with me in the past. They've always taken my phone calls and answered my emails. I'm expecting the best.
So this has been a great show today. I've had a lot of fun. Should we tell Senator Mike Oliverio he's like Wally Pipp on the New York Yankees? That was out one day, and then Lou Gehrig played 2,250 consecutive games. He never played again. Is that what we should? Maybe I should tell him that.
He'll appreciate that. Come on, Edge. He's got a big election. He knows the stakes. He needs to be getting his face everywhere, talking to everybody, doing whatever he can. Let's rib him a little.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't know where he is today. All I know, he's not on the West Virginia Mavericks, but and then he's going to try to weasel his way into Chris's football show. I guarantee it. I'm going to have to come up with a line. I don't know. We've already got. We already decided it last week. You weren't there. Chris Rose, the new star of the West Virginia fan base pregame show. Oh, this is going to be fun, guys. We got to get Gino involved. We got to get Height involved. And I don't know what I'm going to do do to save the Patrick Morrissey campaign. Not much I can do in Washington, D.C. Oh, my goodness. Hey, I'll see you guys next week. Great job. Great job.
See you next week.
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you all guys up to advertise again on our bus, which is gonna be right outside of the football stadium. I know you guys are gonna be fired up about that. Fired up. We'll see you soon.
Fired up, baby.
Let's go.